Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to First Look on the C3 channel. We're finishing up the regular season. It's the final week, and we're excited to be with each and every one of you at home. Special edition of First Look. It is spring break edition, if you will. Lots of individuals out, including Flamingo and Nate. But we've got a good friend, a new member on the desk for this week. We've got Mr. Mac Dewey himself. We're excited to invite him on, as well as, of course, the one, the only Ralph. Welcome in as well, guys.
I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to have Mac Dewey back. Dewey, welcome to the stream, by the way. I know you're usually the one running our production, but it's the first time I think in a while that you've been able to be a caster.
I know you guys have been putting me out of a job this season in the spring. Across the many talented people we've been able to bring in. Appreciate you guys running the ship in my stead. It's definitely been a long way since I think it was last fall or even last spring. It was like just me, Nate, and Knight's mom holding down the fort on the First Look pre-show. So just want to say, quick as we start things off, appreciate you guys for coming through and being on the pre-show for pretty much. I think you guys have been on for pretty much the whole season, which has been absolutely crazy. So you guys have been crushing it. I've been cheering you on from behind the scenes, but now it's time for me to take my place back in the hot seat, back on stream with you guys.
Oh, and I'm gonna hit you hard in the hot seat, by the way. So we're gonna hit you with hard ending questions where you have to make decisions. It'll be fun though, of course, because we got the regular season wrapping up. So we'll talk about the playoff picture and things like that, of course, guys. But the first thing that we're gonna get into is gonna be last week and the results that we saw there. So any surprises, takeaways, all of that good stuff. Let's go ahead and I'll kind of run you through the results here as we speak. Don't see the results here for Winthrop versus Coastal Carolina, but everybody else. So we got High Point 1, Elon 3. So Elon able to take the series over High Point 3-1. We had UNC Charlotte 3-0 over ECU, so that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, what? Is Charlotte 3-0 over ECU? Man, the times have changed, unfortunately.
100%. And this was one that you're not going to like, Mr. Mac Dewey. UNCG 3-0 over UNC, which I would also say
yeah,
to be expected in all honesty, man.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But we move on. NC State with the 3-1 victory over Wilmington, putting them in a tough spot. So, Ralph, we'll go to you in this one. Unfortunately, UNCW, they're not only going to need to win, probably by sweep, but they're going to need a little bit of help as well to try to get into land here, it looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a tough one because they're right there along the ropes with Clemson University as well. Clemson having, I think, probably going to be their easier matchup for Week 7. I mean, they do indeed have NC A&T, definitely a team that's already out of the playoffs, for one, and for two, it's Clemson roster being one that can get a game off of teams like University of South Carolina, take UNC Charlotte to Game 5. So definitely not going to be easy there for NC A&T. So you've got to be a little bit careful if you are UNC Wilmington, because Clemson very well could sneak away with that last spot.
I agree. Yeah, we'll get into that matchup for sure a little bit later too to kind of talk it through because that's a very important one. But Clemson, they might have it locked in there. Speaking of NCAA though, they did win their first match of the season, I believe, unless they got their second one here. NCAA, they that's their first one of the season, so that's awesome for them. They got one over Columbia International there, Mac.
Yeah, that was a super fun game to watch. Honestly, I was, even though you have, and like, I'm looking at the standings on my second screen, so I'm just gonna go, since we're talking about the teams to get a little bit of lay of the land, I'm gonna go ahead and throw us on the standings just to take a peek here.
Yeah, let's do it.
But my thought with that, Bearlight, is with some of these teams at the bottom of the standings, even though like it was NC versus Columbia International, two new schools to C3, I'm really excited to see how they kind of progress. I feel like for some of these schools, we've seen a lot of growth over time. Even though Clemson's record does not do them justice, I feel like Clemson is one of those schools for me that's really blossomed over the course of especially my time at C3 over these past few years here. And all that to say, the NCAA and Columbia International matchup, I saw glimpses of potential. So even though it's the 13 and 14 team in the standings, they're still really fun to watch play. And it was overall a really awesome series to watch.
I totally agree, man. It was fun because I got to see it firsthand on the Beach channel. Me and Somber covered that one actually. Super fun to watch this go 5, and
Hmm.
they both really do have the potential to go and be a not just a 2-win team, but be able to challenge some of the top teams as well. I mean, CIU played some top teams pretty well.
Hmm.
That being said, they got 3-0'd by UNC Charlotte, for example. That
Yeah.
was a bit of a tough one. USC, but that's kind of to be expected, Ralph, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I'm pretty much it's probably the biggest glaze I've ever put on a singular team this entire season was the University of South Carolina, especially that Clemson series. I mean, if you're a Carolina fan, of course you're gonna pick USC to try and just absolutely pummel Clemson into the ground. That's just a good old rivalry for you. It's just there's no way avoiding that one.
No doubt. No doubt. Final results of week number 6. You can still look at the standings ahead of you, but it's 3-1 USC over Clemson. So again, they're taking games
Crazy.
off of the top dog, right, with USC. Yeah, so that one again is notable. Wake Tech also took a game off of UNC Asheville. I think this has just been a season to forget for Wake Tech because we know that they can be a stronger team. I think it's just one of those seasons where you had tough matchups along the way and couldn't quite find their stride. Do you agree, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wake Tech definitely a little it's crazy to me like over time to see teams like Wake Tech in ECU in the bottom half of the league after like just 2 semesters ago. Back at the last time we were in Wilmington where those are some of the top squads competing for a potential chance at fighting for the trophy. Obviously, it's always been, it's no surprise seeing South Carolina and Charlotte at the top of the C3 league here. They've definitely run things here for a while, but, where Wake Tech in ECU have been, I feel like Clemson's improved in a way that's been a lot more consistent performance for them and even showing up at LAN in Raleigh. So for me, it's been Clemson and even UNC Greensboro that's kind of stepped into the conversation of
Yep.
filling that role of. I feel like we sometimes like to talk about dark horse candidates on the pre-show, and Wake Tech and ECU have been the dark horses of old, and so I'll be keeping my fingers crossed. It's 2 really cool programs, especially Wake Tech. I think has a more established esports culture outside of the club. I feel like ECU is definitely a little bit more club focused, whereas Wake Tech's a bit more of a program. So I'll be looking forward to see if Wake Tech's able to, take the off season. It's spring semester. Obviously, the year's kind of coming to a close for a lot of the students, but hey, next fall is full of opportunity.
Definitely. Yep. So Wake Tech, unfortunately, eliminated this time around. We'll see if they can make that bounce back for sure. Mark. Now, of course, you held them in high regards as well, Ralph. They're going to be 2-4 and eliminated. Unfortunately, where they stand right now. That being said, Coastal Carolina, also one of those teams. It was like, wow, where did they come from? Right? Started the season off fantastic. They're currently sitting at 4-1 right now. So maybe the biggest surprise of the season would, on a positive note for a team, might be Coastal Carolina. Your thoughts, Ralph?
I mean, yeah, they've definitely had a great season so far, but also they've had a little bit of easier matchups. I mean, they had to start off the season with a Game 5 win over UNC Asheville, but same time getting a little bit towards the lower end of the standing of teams. They're starting off with week 2 against High Point, even week 3 going against Elon. It's not really been too much for them to handle, or that they had to handle, but the moment they had a little bit of the higher end matchups, it's been a little bit rough for them. You saw that sweep from NC State. That was a little unfortunate there for Coastal, but they've just got to keep on battling through. And to be honest, it could be amazing to see them make LAN. I do think they have a chance. I think they pretty much have secured their ticket as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're pretty locked in here. Winthrop, I don't think that game's been reported yet. So for that reason, they're sitting at 4-1. So they play that out, probably going to be 4-2. Let's be honest. I mean, the Winthrop team is just incredibly strong. Don't want to say it's automatic because of how good Coastal Carolina has been to start off the season, and they've surprised us in some terms. But in all honesty, they're probably going to fall in that one. Yeah, that's plain and simple. So I'm definitely eyeballing the first matchup. So let's go ahead and get into the matchups because it is 8 minutes to the top of the hour. So let's talk stream matchups, which includes Coastal Carolina versus Mark, your gaming at UNC team.
I know.
So let's get into your predictions because we get to hear all the talents, but you're a surprise talent, so we didn't get to hear your thoughts.
I know.
I'm excited to hear your predictions here.
I'm a dark horse in and of itself. I mean, look, when we've seen UNC on stream, we've kind of seen some crazy plays, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Obviously, Coastal's a great squad, but I'm going to predict my UNC Tar Heels get the upset here, and maybe catch Coastal Carolina sleeping. I know they're wanting to bounce back big after that NC State loss that you mentioned, Bearlight. And I'm excited to see, I think a lot of times in losses, the teams can learn a whole lot, both about themselves and their approach to the game. So I'm curious to see them, like if I'm looking at it from the lens of a Coastal Carolina fan, I want them to come through and just absolutely dominate this Tar Heel team and not give them any glimpse of opportunity. But so with my prediction though, I think they're going to be able to carve themselves an opportunity here to maybe catch Coastal Carolina off guard. We'll have to see if they've learned their lessons from the regular season.
All right, Ralph, you're up, and here's my thing. All right, you got Scorp, you got Ginger Ace, and you got Shark. What's the first part of that? Is Mark crazy? Is he crazy, Shark? Well, what's your thoughts?
He's crazy beyond his mic. He's almost Nate crazy when it comes to UNC Chapel Hill. It's almost like having Nate here with UNC Wilmington. But to be honest, I do think Chapel Hill can get a game off of Coastal. I wouldn't be surprised, but Coastal Carolina is usually going to take this matchup every single day of the week. Maybe a rare time when they're not on their element, they may give up a series to UNC Chapel Hill. It's possible, but it's not something that I don't think is entirely likely.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the same boat here. I got to go again against your, unfortunately, against your Chapel Hill team there, Mark. Coastal Carolina takes this one. Ralph, to your point, they've had an easy schedule for the most part. It has been kind of mickey, but it's really started to amp up a little bit, so we'll see. Plus, not to mention, they have something on the line when that's seeding, right? Going into land. Where are we going to be placed? So they have that bar to kind of raise themselves, so that's why I'm leading Coastal Carolina over UNC Chapel Hill for their opportunity to... if you're UNC Chapel Hill, you have nothing to lose, so maybe you can play well, but I see Coastal Carolina too much on the line there. 8 p.m. game on this main channel, Wake Tech taking on UNCW, Wilmington. We don't have Nate here to glaze his team, but actually I think he predicted against them, if I'm not mistaken. So, could be wrong there, but I'm interested to get your take. Mark, I'll have you start off here. Wake Tech with UNCW.
Not to throw, I know Nate catches a lot of flame on the stream. It's kind of funny regardless. I sometimes wonder if Nate's thinking, like, if I don't show up on stream, will I get more or less flame? But, we're mentioning them because UNCW, this is probably their most important match of the season. They got to give themselves an opportunity, and Bear, like you were saying, it's not only giving themselves an opportunity, but in terms of the tie-breaking scenarios, they have to play pretty much perfectly tonight. And it all kind of comes down to this. The land's going to be at Wilmington, so are they going to show up as fans or are they going to show up as competitors? So it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna believe in Reticle and Slug. I think they've still got a good squad to compete and go out there. I think since even though they've been going to lands, it's been a little bit of inconsistency between the team. Reticle, I feel like, has always been their kind of rock on the squad, who's been their kind of most consistent performer. So we'll see if Reticle can put on his carry shorts. But, I believe with the Seahawks on the line, if they're playing a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to believe in them. I think Wilmington takes this series, maybe not 3-0, but I think they at least get the series win.
All right, so Ralph, what's do you disagree? Do you agree? Where are you at with this match?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I think about it, there's a lot of predictions I probably thought would have went UNC Wilmington's way, but there's also a lot that probably could have went Wake Tech's way this season as well. And to be honest, I kind of had Wake Tech on this one, but this is going to be a banker. This is going to be a game 5. Really, any team, either one of the teams can take this. But when it comes to going to LAN, I think Wake Tech could upset here. UNC Wilmington also could get it, but UNC Wilmington's not going to make it to LAN.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to have help, to your points, anyways. So, but the only way that you kind of get there is by, when you have your backs against the wall, you have to be able to finalize. And I don't think they're going to win it by sweep, which might actually kick them out anyways. So that's a tough place to be in for sure, where you're not even sure if you win this match, if you're able to get on to the next one either. So we'll see how they play. I've got Wake Tech in this one, but just by a little bit. Ralph, you and I, same page there for sure. I think it's a game 5. Wake Tech sneaks by UNCW and just kind of ends that thought altogether as far as what the results are. Last match to talk about on the mainstream, 9 p.m. matchup. NC State facing off with Asheville. Mark, of course, we'll start with you.
Man, oh man. We're saving, I think, the best match for last tonight. This is probably the most important one in terms of potential seeding scenarios. Clemson fans, Enzo, Masao, Pasta and Beans are all going to be watching this one extremely closely because they need NC State to absolutely crush Asheville in this matchup in order. So I just want to, again, this is the last week of the regular season. We're talking stream predictions, but we don't have a lot of time left. I want to emphasize the importance of some of these matchups. Top 8 punch their ticket to land. UNC Asheville sitting there at number 7. NC State's put on a crazy season. I'm excited to see them at LAN as well. They're 5-1 at the moment. I'm going to go with the Wolfpack on this one. I think they're going to be a tough squad to beat, but they've definitely shown glimpses of I don't think they're particularly super strong 4 seed. I think Greensboro at the 3 spot at the moment, Winthrop's going to be a tier ahead of them. Greensboro with that Clemson win, I think is an extremely high quality win. And NC State, have an opportunity here. They obviously had the sweep over Coastal. But, I think NC State, I'm looking forward to seeing them maybe pick up another big quality win here. That's what I would like to see from the pack. And it's what I predict is going to go down.
All right, we'll see if they are stronger 4 seed, perhaps. With the big one is what they certainly need.
Yeah,
Ralph, your thoughts here on this matchup as well?
Oh yeah, this is a tough one because this one's really, really important because if UNC Asheville gets swept here, they actually have a chance of not going to LAN. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Wolfpacks are going to take the series, but I think Asheville has the ability to get a game off of them, and that's going to be their saving grace here for LAN, is getting at least a singular game off of the Wolfpack. And both these teams are going to go to LAN. It's going to make it even more tough for Clemson. But even so, Wolfpack all the way.
All right, we finally agree across the board. I got Wolfpack as well. That'll be a 3-1. I think it's going to be the count there, thereby putting Asheville in. I think they're going to do enough because they understand what's at stake here. I think North Carolina State, they have a little bit of weakness. It could allow one game from a team like Asheville because they've been playing decent enough already. The results from Twitter before we get things going, before we close things out here, it was Coastal Carolina. Me and Ralph were going to win that first one and agree with Twitter. 71.4 to 28.6% Coastal Carolina. Match 2 was Wake Tech over UNCW. Again, me and Ralph, 60% to 40%. That one a lot closer though there, Mark. But then we all hit bingo as NC State 87.5%. to UNC Asheville's 12.5%. Listen, I think Asheville's going to make it closer than that. We'll have to find out, and the only way is to stick on this channel here. Also, add a 2 to the end of it and open a new tab and go there and make sure you follow the B channel as well, the 2 channel, if you will, here at C3. We appreciate everybody tuning in for First Look, and we'll see you on the pitch.
Woo!
Welcome back to Z3, where we got the final week of action right ahead of us. It'll determine whether certain teams are in and out in terms of LAN at UNCW in just a couple of weeks. Joining me here is Skyline. I am Bearlights, and we're going to get the first match here on the board, scheduled for 7 p.m. We appreciate your patience as we reloaded everything here. But Skyline, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing great, Bearlight, as always, and I'm excited to see these matchups. Like you said, this is a do or die week for a lot of these teams wanting to make it on that March 21st, 22nd deadline for the LAN at UNC Wilmington. So they will be playing lights out, or at least trying to guarantee themselves a spot in that top 8. But not only that, the reason why we are a little bit late is because the new Rocket League update with the flip reset indicators and the boost spawn timers. So that is going to be a huge play. I feel like some of these players playing around that a little bit more, trying to get adjusted to it on the fly. So, Barely, I'm looking forward to see if this changes up anything. Maybe these teams can use it to their advantages quickly right off the rip, or maybe try to get adjusted to it as time goes on.
Yeah, as a former player, you're thinking in your head, is this going to like mess with me too, or is this going to be like a situation where I can take advantage of it? So like there's multiple ways this could go for a lot of these players. So that is super interesting, no doubt about it. For both of these teams, so actually for Coastal Carolina in particular, they're looking for a higher seeding as well, which is possible by, getting this win over the Gaming Club of Carolina, at Carolina, which is the matchup that we have ahead of us. So the desk got to predicted, and I imagine it might be a similar one here too. Who do you have taking this one, Coastal Carolina or UNC?
This one was kind of close for me, in my opinion, just because Chapel Hill's a team that, like, they can pull off the upsets if they're playing on their game from what I've seen. But Coastal Carolina, they're also a team, like, they started out 4-0. They played against State last week. It obviously didn't go as planned for them, but they're still a really good team. That's why they are that 4-1 seed. So I think Coastal Carolina pulls this out, but don't be sleeping on Chapel Hill whatsoever. They can easily pull these out.
Oh, they got Super Duper Cam. That's who I'm watching. A fan favorite we've gotten to learn about over the course of the C3 season. Not to mention, Crazy Shark has stepped up in 20 times 2 plus score. Always been a part of this roster as well. They'll be going up against Coastal Carolina. Baby Yoda has been a big carry for a lot of the weeks, but Landon and RX have certainly been pretty much showcasing themselves as being one of the top teams in Coastal Carolina. They'll be in orange versus UNC in blue, appropriately enough, and we get going with game number 1.
For one, you already see Coastal Carolina starting off with some pressure onto that blue half, but it's going to get sent right back down by that player you said you're looking out for, Super Duper Cam, seeing if maybe he can make something here with his teammates. But Coastal Carolina doing a good job already of controlling the ball, trying to get some pressure onto that other half. You see Landon immediately going for a demo there to open up space on the back line. Is anyone there to follow? Landon is, but a great diving save by Chapel Hill to keep it out. Now it's going to get sent right back down for a counter attack, but Baby Yoda gets a little bit of bumpage there to ensure a shot can't go on just yet. And maybe another bump, but it's in a dangerous situation for Coastal Carolina as they try to clear it out of their half.
That's Baby Yoda up to punch this one out to midfield. Scorp is actually going to be beat to this as well. So RX is going to push it to the box. Crazy Shark was backwards, but does a good job to manage to get it into himself. But he floats it high, and Baby Yoda's up for that one. We'll tap it down. Scorp backward and Landon with an easy tap in. Bit of miscoordination here from UNC Chapel Hill to start things off, and Coastal Carolina takes advantage of it.
Just didn't know if he had time or not, had the panic because that low boost as well getting in your mind. And Landon realizes this. All he has to do is basically park his car and wait for it to fall into his hands, and it does indeed. First goal going towards Coastal Carolina, but Chapel Hill already off the kickoff, trying to get it right back off the back wall. It gets controlled out by RX. Baby Yoda with a follow-up, trying to send it downfield and maybe get a bump on the way is something you'll see. They love to play that heavy, aggressive play style, getting their first man in, going for the demo, second man following in close. As you see here, Baby Yoda again trying to get it up high for a second man pass, but not there as Landon trying to recover after a missed touch on the back line, but still nothing to come of it, and Chapel Hill barely scraping by.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina very much reminds me of a Winthrop team that's plays very heavy, strong, and right at you, and that was an opportunity there. But Baby Yoda couldn't quite find the angle on that hit. So instead, he'll take it to the corner. Scorp is looking to rotate back. Couldn't find a boost. Will eventually get there. And this was cut up in the process by Crazy Shark, but RX will easily just turn around on it. Actually beats one with this challenge. Now keeping it high off the corner. Scorp is getting to locate that one with ease up on the top side of the corner. It will bounce high for Landon to take it. He's eyeballing RX, but not much boost in the tanks. You can see firsthand the foot breeze, that indicator live and in action, Skylar.
And like I said so far, Coastal Carolina only having one loss on the season so far to a strong NC State team that will be playing later today. But right now, Baby Yoda is making a statement with another goal off a great pass. RX throws it up high. Super Duper Cam just not able to get that read on the back wall. So awkward. And every single advantage was taken there by Coastal Carolina to get that one through.
When you play well positionally and you have a lot of speed momentum, you keep it with it and trust your positioning too, it allows you to step up in those spots, and it feels like you're everywhere. Baby Yoda is a prime example of that and has been for a while for Coastal Carolina. Finally a shot taken there from UNC Chapel Hill, but easily handled by RX. Didn't have to break a sweat at all. I'll push it out to Baby Yoda. Now he's got it in action. Ran out of boost here, so he'll have to leave it for a teammate. Super Duper Cam didn't get all of that. That allows RX to take a shot as well. Crazy Shark can't get to it, and Coastal Carolina running away with game one.
Chapel Hill, they just are making so many mistakes on their back line. You see the missed touch there, and third man just not able to get that read in time. Thought it was going to be a little bit slower of a shot, maybe more middle or behind. But no, just a straightaway shot, bottom left, goes perfectly in. Chapel Hill, they got to find a way to break out of their half if they want to chance at this game, because it feels like every single time and ends up in the orange. It's just allergic to it and tries to retreat right away back into the blue. So Baby Yoda once again trying to take control. Ends up leaving it for RX, playing that really well team ball. Again, just nothing come of it as we see a double commit go through. But Chapel Hill still not taking any advantage of it whatsoever. We see the double commits coming out, but that's just because Coastal Carolina they're getting adjusted to this. They're getting so confident in themselves after being up 3-0 only 3 minutes into this game that they feel like they can play this aggressive play style and stick with it, and Chapel Hill will just not be able to find any way past it.
Again, boost steal. That we had talked about it at the very top of this game. It's been real. Coastal Carolina has not allowed Chapel Hill to basically have anything. It's been a while since we've seen full boost. Finally, Crazy Shark gathers some. He's been good at getting some of those when they've been scarce and far between. But even still, like the pressure that you see brought by Coastal Carolina forces UNC Chapel Hill to basically touch the ball down the field and give away possession. That's the first real passing play that we've seen from Chapel Hill, and it's answered immediately back by Coastal Carolina as they burn more of this clock off in game one.
I don't know if Baby Yoda meant to do it there or using that new boost timer to his advantage. He slowed down just enough, realizing the boost was about to spawn while the ball was still on his car instead of rushing it, allowing him to get that 100 and stay in the play. Good on him, and now we see another counterattack opportunity and almost saved by his teammate, but instead the goal has been stolen away. What looked like a surefire goal for Baby Yoda is sent right into the hands of RX.
You know what? You got to give some of your teammates some love. Actually, you know what? I take it back. RX already has one in this game, so you didn't need a second one, buddy. It was an accident, I believe. But listen, he stole it anyways. He's packing his stats for the season. He wants to be in contention for the C3 heavy goal scores. Scorp was trying to score in his own net there. Went backwards, but was able to bail it out. He's going to call it a back pass at the end of the day, Skylar.
And with only 30 seconds remaining, Chapel Hill looking just to try to get one, just to kind of get some momentum back on their side, because right now we've seen Coastal Carolina, just another demo on that rotate. Maybe finally a goal to go through Chapel Hill here. Finally see pressure ending up on the orange half. Crazy Shark acts out as Super Duper Cam tries to get one through, but Baby Yoda gets the clear. 10 seconds remain. and Chapel Hill are going to go down in this first game. Another goal for good measure from Coastal Carolina, just to ensure that the nail is truly in the coffin for game one.
Yeah, again, just miscommunication there, a bit of a double commit, and we've seen a couple of breakdowns here from UNC Chapel Hill, so a tough one for them, both season-wise, because they won't be making land. However, you want to see them kind of have put together a good series, so that way you walk into the next semester with your heads held high as you. It just won't happen in game one, but it is a long series, a best of 5 after all. But Coastal Carolina will take game number 1 in dominant fashion as well. So there's a couple things you're playing for if you're Coastal Carolina. We mentioned the seeding portion of it as well. But you also want to make a statement piece going into land too. So now, with this win in particular, Coastal Carolina had already solidified their chances. But obviously, the more you solidify yourself from a winning differential standpoint, that's going to help, but also trying to intimidate others that are going to be at land too. Be like, we absolutely crushed the team that gave you a challenge. Imagine, like, for example, UNCW gets in, right? They weren't able to even beat Chapel Hill. So if they're absolutely slaughtering them, they're like, oh, do we have a chance against Coastal Carolina? It becomes a mental game to some degree, at least.
And Chapel Hill, they want to be that team. Like you said, they're not going to make land, unfortunately. But for them, they can still be a reaper of some sort. If they can come back and win this series, they can definitely mess up the seeding for this tournament, or at least throw it out of whack a little bit. So if I was Chapel Hill, that's what I'd be focusing on more than anything right now. But with Coastal Carolina, like we see, 3 goals, 3 shots from RX, leading scorer there. Only 3 shots in total from Chapel Hill, 1 from each player, and only 2 saves. But if Chapel Hill wants to get back in the series and be that reaper, be that team that throws everything out of proportion, they have to put it together right now, because Coastal Carolina looks like they're on another level.
Well, if you're here for UNC Chapel Hill, let's get a hashtag Carolina Reaper in chat. We want to see if they can play some spoilers, baby. Get it up and will Coastal Carolina keep running with it, man? I'll tell you what, based on game number 1 alone, Coastal Carolina is probably going to spoil that, but I'm a big fan of Spice, so I want to see that live in chat. We'll see if people play along here.
So you can never expect anything crazy like that, right, Bearlight? Like, I mean, there's everything that can go wrong and so many things that can go right, but at the end of the day, it all matters about what comes out of all these situations, and Coastal Carolina is just a team that's been known to be consistent with it.
100%. Yeah, they've looked to be one of the stronger teams, which is not anything that anybody really expected here this season, except for maybe Coastal Carolina, right? Because they've certainly got a squad to be proud about. Baby Yoda has been a monster to deal with in all sorts of ways, but the rest of the team has really followed suit. This has been a well-rounded team. You even see it with some pretty wall jumps, but that one will be denied by the Tar Heels. And I feel like just settling in a little bit more, kind of calming it down, the pace that is. Maybe that's what's leading to some of these double commits, because it's still kind of developing. You see it a little bit here from Chapel Hill, even though they haven't gotten scored on. In fact, they almost had a chance to score first, but it was denied on the goal line by Baby Yoda.
Chapel Hill already looking more well put together than last game. Seems like the playstyle's changed a bit. Finally, the second man coming in for the shot, but off the woodwork. Fortunately for them, their first goal of the series is still yet to be found, as Baby Yoda looks for a 6th unanswered goal by passing it middle. Ends up getting an extra touch for the third man in RX, trying to rotate in, but again, blocked out by Cam. Landon's going to try to take it to the side, gets a flip reset off of it. That new flip reset indicator that we can tell by the sound and the animation, but Score once again trying to get it through. And Chapel Hill finally finding their way through to the orange half over and over again. They got to break through this net, because right now Coastal Carolina is still holding steady on the back line.
Yeah, they're finding a lot of success just like sending one that's deep into the zone and then being able to kind of tap it around. So not necessarily cherry picking per se, but like if you're going to be up there, utilize your position accordingly. Get those little touchdown passes from your opponent's back wall. Get creative. At this point in time, nothing to lose. And they got another pass play developing here too, and Landon's already up for this one as well, but RX will punch it out just before Chapel Hill can get anything going.
Gonna say, if Chapel Hill wants to score these goals, they gotta get a little bit more aggro. I haven't really seen any demos from them. They are getting those first, second man plays that we see whenever they're able to capitalize on. They can take heavy pressure onto it and just keep it on. But right now, it just seems like all the pressure is just withering away little by little as another shot goes on. But there's just always a Coastal Carolina player there ready to block those shots. They got to get someone on and attack heavy. I mean, it's like a defensive end in football, just going and attacking, trying to get that QB. You know what I mean? Like, they got to send someone in, and they got to play heavy if they want to win against them.
Heavy blitz package coming out. That's what they're looking for, Liz. Crazy Shark tries to play it backward. Let's see if Baby Yoda tracked that one all the way. But a good job to punch it away. So now Cam had that opportunity as it went east to west, but Coastal Carolina was a little bit bunched in here. But now a great opportunity for Coastal Carolina. Again, they look into the box. Super Cam was here. He's got extra touch. Landon's backwards. She has for score. No boost in the tank. It is played out. Needing to make a read this Crazy Shark, and he does. Still in danger zone. Good tap back as well to Landon, but he couldn't quite handle it. A little bit too tough there. Super Duper Cam will try to tap it away. But look as Coastal Carolina swarming yet again, but they did bail on that one. I'm not sure what happened there, but Landon made the read to go back into his own zone, which opened the door temporarily for UNC Chapel Hill. They're going to have to play it back here instead. And Coastal Carolina will rip a shot on, but Scorp was ready for this one too. Bit of a demo game, but it becomes a much more defensive battle, which is really showcasing that Chapel Hill prefers this style of play instead.
I was about to say Chapel Hill looking a lot better, as we currently haven't seen a goal so far compared to last game. Either way, it just still feels like they're just trying to bang something and hope for the best. Like they're throwing prayers on nets. Right now, not a single one of them has been answered. While Coastal Carolina, they've gotten a lot of opportunities. It just feels like not a single one has been on targets. They keep getting the pressure. They'll throw it to the backboard, maybe even get a bumper demo to clear out the third man. But the second man's not there to follow, or he has no boost and can't get the touch he needs to end up putting that finishing little thing inside the net, per to say. But right now, Cam might be the first one to get a goal, as Baby Yoda has to make a save right there. And with 25 seconds remaining, still 0-0, we might see overtime unless something changes here.
Super Duper Cam's got some boost here. Great job to challenge him, but you're right. It's been so stagnant, it'd be crazy if there's a last-second goal in this defensive battle, but we've seen some crazy things happen. Here's Crazy Shark. Wants to play it in. RX try to direct it back in. Denied by Super Cam. But now it's Yoda. Crazy Shark great on the back check here, but Super Duper Cam was able to get to it. It will stay on the ground. Overtime in game number 2.
Talk about a defensive-heavy game. 6 saves for Chapel Hill so far. 7 for Coastal Carolina. All defense, no offense. And it's going to be who's going to break the camel's back first. One goal is going to determine whether this is a triple match point for Coastal Carolina or if this will be a 1-1 tie series for Chapel Hill to get their momentum swung back on their side. Scorp trying to throw it downfield. Has Super Duper Cam trying to follow through. A bad touch by Landon right back into the hands of Chapel Hill. Baby Yoda able to get a cut. Now Landon goes for the pass instead of the shot. RX goes for another, but can't get it. Scorp playing patient on that back line. A great read, and now it's an open net for Cam, but he misses the ball. Baby Yoda was too far off the back line, and that's going to be a very heavy missed opportunity for Chapel Hill.
That is tough. That is super tough. Scorp made such a great play, and Crazy Shark will get that ceiling clear essentially all the way back down the field. But yeah, you feel bad about that opportunity, leaving that on the table, especially the way that Coastal Carolina has been playing. But you got to put it out of your minds. You're going to be able to find other opportunities as well if they present themselves. As Super Duper Cam, right back to it. Crazy Shark will set up Scorp. They pinch it. Strong pinch here. Off the corner too, but Super Duper Cam couldn't quite find the angle, didn't have the boost in the tank, and Baby Yoda able to challenge it, get it to Landon. And Coastal Carolina not out of dodge yet, though. It's open, freebie. And UNC Chapel Hill will take game 2. They avoided some danger situations, Skyline, to be able to equalize the series.
As you said, the Carolina Reapers are striking hot here. Scorp, finally, they keep it close, staying on their back line. They play very defensive heavy, a huge switch from what we saw last game, and it worked nearly to perfection. They did keep it super close. It wasn't as perfect as they wanted it, but the win gets the win at the end of the day, and that is going to be 1-1 tie series for Chapel Hill to try to ruin the Chanticleers. But right now, the Tar Heels are looking strong, and they have to stay poised on their back line, because I guarantee you now that Coastal Carolina has realized this, they're given some time to think about it with this minute of a quote-unquote timeout, per to say. They're going to readjust themselves. They're going to be like, okay, we know they have 2 on the back. They have 3 on the back. We need to send someone forward. We have to get that pressure. We have to keep it, because we know when we keep pressure, when we send our first and second man up, we are more dominant than this team on the pitch. But right now we have played so scared to the point where it just feels like our first man's going in and no one's helping out. So that ball just stays middle, and Chapel Hill has all the time in the world to recollect it.
Yeah, exactly. Because we talked about, like, it's a lot better of a game from UNC. But what does that say about Coastal Carolina? And that's exactly right. Everything that you mentioned was exactly what we were seeing. And you have to, on the other side of UNC Chapel Hill, that left some opportunities on the table. It is your responsibility as their opponents, from your perspective of Coastal Carolina, to then take advantage of it and then find an opportunity of your own. I think they did a little bit more of a lackluster performance. I'd like to see a little bit more of them being opportunistic. We saw it in game one that they were basically over everything. I think that confidence screams how they like to play and what they need to get back to. They're suddenly not winning as many boost battles either, and not being as physical. We've seen some bumps and demos here and there, but I like to see them get right back to that if I'm Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, basically turn this field into a carnival and get it a bumper cars game going at the moment, because right now it just looks like shot goes on, save goes through. As I say it, and there it goes. RX tries to get a shot on, but Scorp with a great save, and then Shark gets a miss, but Cam's going to fall that one through, and a double commit comes onto that blue half, so this might be a counterattack opportunity for the Tar Heels. Scorp trying to get through, but Landon has the misread, so it's going to give time for Chapel Hill to take some control until it goes right back into Chanticleer's hands. Landon tries to throw it high off the ceiling, but a little bit too far for Baby Yoda to follow. Yet he still ends up jumping, thinking he can make the read. A shot goes on, and it's just pop shot after pop shot for Chapel Hill. That's the main way they've shot. It doesn't work the majority of the time. The one time it did work was a pass play, and there's a pass play. Shot goes on, but off the par, and once again, the fourth man saves the day for Chapel Hill.
100%. Great job defensively, because they were on it in a heartbeat, and the pass was just out of the reach for Coastal Carolina as well. So they were close to being able to strike, but could not find their way through. But there's another bump, and Scorp will clear it directly back out. Again, allowed that opportunity and space to be able to operate. Baby Yoda will get it past one, but a bump there on Crazy Shark, and RX will play it out past center field. Had a chance to be able to regroup themselves, but it was a little bit awkward and backwards. We weren't able to quite get to it. And Landon will keep it paused and end this Tar Heel zone. Scorp looks to collect two. Didn't have boost in the tank. Leaves it for Crazy Shark. RX. It's an extra touch out to Landon. Strong arm play there from Super Duper Cam, but look out in transition. Here's RX. We'll direct that one on target. Bar down. Great passing play in transition from Coastal Carolina. We'll give them the 1-0 lead.
Say this blue half of the field so far has felt the orange side just tremble on their half, but so far it just looks like they look so well coerced together for Chapel Hill. They were getting the rotation. Second man kept forcing for the third man, making sure that they didn't get anything on. Fortunately, they're only one back and with no boost. Didn't look like he can get through, but wide open net for Shark. All he has to do is turn and tap it in. What a great 50 in the midfield, and Chapel Hill are right back in this game.
Yeah, again, if they're going to struggle like that, Baby Yoda, it was a little bit behind you. It's tough to get that touch. I get it, but like if it's going to leave it on the table, make sure you capitalize on it. Looked a bit like a turbo pulse goal there, as Crazy Shark was just trying to get whatever he could on it. But it works out. It doesn't matter how it looks, right? It's whether or not it goes in. And it's good for them, but maybe right back out. And Landon had a great look there too, but another big clear here for UNC Chapel Hill. As RX looks to get that extra shot. Actually going to be there to bump them out of the play. A great job to follow that one too, but Super Duper Cam bailing them out yet again here for Chapel Hill.
And again, that second man just following through and leaving the third man in a free ball situation. Chapel Hill has done such a good job of that so far. Obviously, they'll have hiccups here and there, but as long as they can stay consistent with it, with the most part, then it looks like they will be solidified as a team that can upset this Coastal Carolina Chanticleers roster. But right now, the Chanticleers don't want that to happen. Obviously, they're still trying to keep that press on as the blue half still feeling the wrath of every touch they take. As Landon now trying to take control, but a quick challenge from Cam is going to put it right back into the orange half. Almost a dunk to come through as Yoda forced to throw it out. And all three Chanticleers forced back with no boost. Chapel Hill tries to get the clear out. RX looks for the turn. He has the shot. Is he going to get it on target? He does. Under one. The other was too far. And RX, once again, the second goal of the game for him.
Yeah, just a tough read here on the back line. You think it's going to be up in the air, but RX puts it below you. So bit of poison guessing which direction it was going to go instead of staying put, but it seems like a danged if you do, danged if you don't situation. So tough to read defensively. Coastal Carolina will regather the lead with 2:02 left here in this game. Winner goes up to match point here in this best of 5. That's what's on the line currently. Both teams have looked pretty even outside of that game one if you toss that one in the trash can, which Fortunately, you can if you're UNC Chapel Hill in terms of games won. But there's a good bump there. It's you, shot taken, and they will find an open spot. So Coastal Carolina, now with 2 goals in a row, make it 3-1.
This has definitely turned into a carnival because the bumps have definitely come out right now. I think Coastal Carolina has finally realized everything that went wrong in that last game, that they weren't staying aggressive enough. And like we said it before the game even started here, that they didn't have that second man to stay in and trust that first man to stay aggressive and make those touches. And that's exactly what we're seeing. They're going back to their game 1 habits of staying that aggro, making sure Chapel Hill can't really get it out of their own half. At the beginning of this game, Chapel Hill was being the aggressor out of anything. We're trying to keep the press on, and we see another one go through here, but the Chanticleers are doing a good job of staying back as that third man, playing patient on their line, waiting for the ball to fall into their hands in the first and second. They're causing chaos downfield. They're making sure that they feel awkward at every step, that nothing can be seen through to fruition. As right now, it seems like every touch that Chapel Hill has made so far on their back line just ends up right back into the hands of the Chanticleers, as it might be right onto the orange side, but a pass comes through, almost a pass to the opposing team, but Coastal Carolina will recollect.
And they gather. Baby Yoda finds RX, and he just punched it towards Landon. I like that redirect. You don't have to necessarily punch it down the field and lose possession. They're finding each other pretty well. I think that's been a big difference here for Coastal Carolina, turning around what was a tough loss, a 0-0 into it overtime. So Chapel Hill proving they can win the close ones, but unfortunately the games have gotten away from them. Game 1, if you're just joining us, was a 5-0 count for Coastal Carolina. Now the 3-1 advantage, plus time ticking off the clock as well, with just under 20 seconds left to go. They look to press in now, but again, they're out of boost. Coastal Carolina has made it their identity in games 1 and games 3. No coincidence they found success in both of those. As Landon will just play it high to kill the rest of the clock, and Coastal Carolina will solidify things here as they will go up 2-1 in this series and look to close out in the next one as they are on match point.
Coastal Carolina finally getting things together and putting it through, as we see 14 shots in total come out compared to only 2 for Chapel Hill. What we could call a double Brazil there in terms of shot-to-shot ratio, 14 to 2, 7 to 1, whatever the ending of that is. But I mean, Chapel Hill, they look like they're able to get pressure, but like we said, the shots just aren't going through. They're having to play defensive heavy, which we saw work for them last game, but Coastal Carolina finally adapting and making sure they get that third man out of the way on the back line to open up the net more or put it under, realizing they're pre-jumping and trying to play the high balls. Like Chapel Hill, they have to be the aggressors if they want to get back in, because right now a 1-0 win is good, but losing 5-0 and then 3-1, they're starting to fall apart slowly but surely. They can find themselves back in this game for sure. They're a team that knows how to regroup themselves, that can stay calm under the pressure when it comes to actually being able to communicate with each other. But so far, it just looks like every single turn that they take is just a NASCAR race. They're just going left and left and left. And right now, that's the only way they can go, while Coastal Carolina has been right in every single situation.
Yeah, I agree. Coastal Carolina's done a better job of gapping up. And although, the Gaming Club of Carolina has looked a little bit better, made adjustments from game 1 to game 2. The problem is they haven't kept evolving, in my opinion. Coastal Carolina, because they made those adjustments, took away space. Nothing you can do at this point in time. The transition play has been stronger for Coastal Carolina, noticeably. That's a big portion of this. And the only way that Chapel Hill can really come back is if they keep up that defensive number 1, but also they got to be just as strong and match that same transitional play energy that we see from Coastal Carolina. Otherwise, this might be a quick one if they're able to close out. Coastal Carolina again on match points, and they're already striking yet again here at Skyline.
The blue half are already being surrounded by orange cars, as we see Scorp finally getting a cut, maybe a pass middle, but just too slow to it, had no boost. That's the main issue we also see for Chapel Hill. Just the boost management has not been there for them. It looks like they're panicking, throwing everything at the wall, and speaking of that, a shot gets thrown on, but unlucky for them as Landon already there to cover. So once again, just taking control, trying to use everything in the tank to create something. Flip comes out, Baby Yoda gets the 50. It's going to fall right into the hands of Crazy Shark up the wall, and it's going to go right back into the hands of the Chanticleers as once again, just all the pressure in the world for the blue side and Chapel Hill, but nothing to come of it, as it's just a counterattack after a counterattack for both ends.
As Baby Yoda's again trying to find that corner, the attack is mounting for sure. Super Duper Camp goes the length of the pitch, and it took them a while to jump on it for Coastal Carolina. But even still, boost pads are hard to come by for Chapel Hill. You can't be stealing your teammates. At least be able to coordinate a little bit better. But RX does find Baby Yoda. I thought he took a goal away from a teammate. Maybe he did. Either way, Coastal Carolina does find the way to the back of the net and a 1-0 lead here.
What a play from Yoda and RX. At first, I thought RX had messed it up a little bit after denying it, like you said. But instead, it was just a really well thought out drawn play by having Baby Yoda play that man just after challenging the ball. They wouldn't expect the shot to come from him, so why not put it right back into his hands and let Shooter shoot? That's exactly what he did, and that's going to be a goal lead for Coastal Carolina with over half of this game still remaining. They're going to be looking to increase it, double it even. As Baby Yoda takes control in the midfield, goes for the flick up high. Scorp gets the diving save up to the backboard, tries to get another off the flip, and he does, but it goes right back into the hands of Landon. Landon tries to take control, ends up leaving it for RX as he returns as third man. RX again going for a bump here, trying to play the aggressor, plays it out to the second. Yoda not there. He was misreading that play by a mile. And even so, Chapel Hill not able to make anything of it unless the double comes through. No boost, gets the bump. Here's an opportunity for Chapel Hill, but nothing again. Every single time we see Chapel Hill take it downfield, it just feels like it's floating in a position that's perfect for them, but no one wants to take the shot. That's why the shot count's so low. That's why the goal count is also so low. Just every opportunity gets turned away, not by the Coastal Carolina team, but by themselves, and Coastal Carolina takes another one right off of it, and RX scores another.
Yeah, another great pass. Scorp had no choice but to try to punch out of the corner. Unfortunately, found the post instead, and so it just squeaked out in front. A juicy rebound, and Coastal Carolina now have battled back from that Game 2 loss and have looked like they're a true form from here on out, really handcuffing Chapel Hill. Because you brought up the point, of Chapel Hill just not being able to find their group, or like lobbing one up and hoping a teammate would be there. They never are, but the boost count has been low. If Chapel Hill wants to come back in the series, number one has to start now, obviously, but number two, they need to be able to control boost resources and or be ready to make a play without it. Those are your two options here at this point. Another opportunity and another time where Coastal Carolina is able to just get away out of Dodge scot-free.
And another counterattack bang downfield from Coastal Carolina is going to clear it out of their half. Like you said, I perfectly agree. The boost count, we've always seen them. It feels like they're on half a tank or less. All three players almost at once. And even when they do get 100, they just use it too quickly. They're trying to rush into the play. They're trying to create something, but it's not enough. It never is enough, and Coastal Carolina almost gets a third one. But again, just off the post, barely not able to follow it up. They rush in a little bit too much too. Still leaving the door just tinily ajar for Chapel Hill to make something of it. They gotta make something of it quick as we see Scorp here trying to throw it down low for Crazy Shark. A demo comes out. Here comes the counter. But again, third man nowhere to be found. He doesn't challenge. He just sits and ball watches. He has the binoculars out. He just wants to see what happens next. And it just goes back in his net. Not what he wants, but unfortunate for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's just positioning, and then you know that you're doomed. There's no worse feeling than looking behind you and being like, wow, I should have been up further, especially in a situation where you're down 2-0 already, right, Skyline? Because, like, there's nothing else to play. Like, you have to basically full send, so be ready for that next one. Sometimes you want to be patient. There are times where you want to make sure you play conservatively to be the last man back, but unfortunately, the 2-0, not one of those times. So Super Duper Cam, tough scenario there. Has been a strong player for UNC over the course of the season, and a season that has been one to forget for Chapel Hill. Coastal Carolina, that just screams how strong they seem to be as well. Catch it full stride again. 3-0 in this game, number 4, and they're all but determined that they're going to be winning the series here.
Yeah, very light. Like you said, they just had to be aggressive. It's come to a point where it seems like the defense was strong, but once Coastal Carolina finally figured out it was never going to be strong enough. It's always like they were a brick wall at one point until the sledgehammer finally came through and knocked it down. And until then, they haven't found a way to kind of put it back together. Crazy Shark, they're looking to get one quick, maybe keep their hopes alive of getting this series, but as that time dwindles down little by little, and the more it gets pressed onto that blue half, the more Coastal Carolina is going to be thanking everything and all that work they put in together, as the season will nearly come to a close for them, as I believe they still have one more matchup after this, as RX puts the dagger through Chapel Hill's hearts, and the Tar Heels will end up getting out of this series with a 5-0 loss in Game 1, getting the second game win 1-0, but then Games 3 and 4 also falling apart.
Yeah, 100%. Stabbed it through their hearts, and it was with their own scythe from the Carolina Reaper. They must have stole it from him. And they punched it right through them to get this victory. Because those hopes and dreams of playing spoilers will be dead. Coastal Carolina looks extremely strong, and they will secure their spot in LAN, which they already had. But even more so, good vibes rolling into it with all of that momentum of just a solid, well-rounded effort against a team that looked to be on the rise eventually. They obviously wasn't quite their season, but for Chapel Hill, they still showed a little bit of light. But Coastal Carolina walks away with the victory, 3-1 here in this one.
Indeed, and a great win from Coastal Carolina nonetheless. And as we see in the chat, that is correct. Landon's birthday.
Ooh.
It is his 21st
Yes,
birthday, so what a huge
sir.
win to help out his seeding and help out his team secure a guaranteed spot in the LAN, which we already knew they were
cool.
going to make. But higher seeding is always a great
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. We have a birthday interview. Let's go. We've got Landon here. Happy birthday, number one, man, and congratulations on that victory as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to kind of give you that love and a great series. Obviously, it seemed to be like business as usual for the most part against this Tar Heels team. So you all look strong. Good team performance. You've been doing it all year long. What do you attribute that to?
Honestly, I would attribute it to, scrimming, playing with confidence, like not playing to lose, kind of just like, I mean, we're playing Rocket League at the end of the day. So, I mean, there's no need to, get so worked up. So, yeah, playing with no nerves, confidence. And I feel like that's really helped us a lot.
I mean, yeah, nerves and mental are some of the biggest things you can deal with as a player, and knowing how to overcome those are definitely a huge part of the game that people don't realize too much. So well said there. And speaking of nerves and everything, we know LAN is coming up shortly, and y'all are guaranteed a spot at that LAN. So first off, how are y'all looking forward to it? Like, what are y'all doing to prepare for this LAN? Is there a little bit of extra practice going into it, or y'all just looking to go and enjoy the vibes? Like, what's y'all's mental process going up into this lane?
Yeah, so we actually have probably a few coaching sessions beforehand. We have a LAN with that features some of the best teams in the country. So that's going to be a great warm up for C3. Yeah, we're honestly really excited. We've been trying to get to this LAN for like 2, 3 semesters now, and now that it's finally all coming together, just it's really exciting for us.
And I mean, if y'all keep playing the way that y'all did, then see a lot of these teams in C3, they're going to be caught off guard by y'all for sure. Cause I don't know if y'all have really been paying attention too much, because y'all are currently 5-1, if I'm correct. But a lot of teams do have their doubts out there about y'all. Like, do y'all have something to kind of say to that? Like anything that like y'all know y'all are better than these teams and you want to come prove it? Like, what do y'all say?
So when it comes to that, all I have to say is you can't take someone's rank at face value. Like a lot of teams, even us in the past, we rank check somebody and we just look at it, they're like, oh, whatever, like they're lower than us. But I mean, it doesn't really mean anything to an extent. I feel like one of our team's strengths is our adaptability to play at a high level. Um just I maybe a few weeks ago in the last open, two of us made it to day two, which I mean, a GC2 should not be in day two. I feel like that attributes to our adaptability. So yeah, like I said, you can't take rank at face value. And to be honest, like I don't even know really why we've been. I guess yeah, we've had an easier schedule, but at the same time, it's like a, a lot of people doubt us to lose the games, like against Wake Tech, Asheville. Like Asheville was 50-50. Wake Tech, we didn't even get one single vote. And then we go out there. I mean, not really Asheville, but we go out there and like we dominate. And like I feel like you kind of have to watch the performance and not just look at rank. So that's all I would say about
Yeah,
that.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I have the most important question of all. Which beach is superior? Is it Myrtle Beach or Wilmington, where you'll be in a couple weeks?
Gotta be Myrtle. It's gotta be Myrtle. I feel like we got more stuff to do. I mean, honestly, I've never been to Wilmington, but from what I've heard, we got more stuff to do, more better scenery. So yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough, man. Hey, listen, it's your birthday, so we'll let you go and celebrate with the team in just a minute. After you give out shout outs to whoever you want to, whether it be stream, team, family, all of the above.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out first to my teammates. Showing up, playing with us every day. It means a lot. I want to give a shout out to Riley for always watching the streams and supporting. I want to give a shout out to my parents, obviously, for giving me new opportunities every day. And I want to shout out my friend Dylan Fastenberg, who goes to Chapel Hill. He's studying abroad right now in Madrid, which is pretty dope. And then lastly, I want to shout out Mr. Metz and the Metz family for buying me this remote. So it's coming handy. So yeah, that's
Incredible.
it.
That's incredible stuff. Landon, happy birthday again. And
Thank you.
we appreciate it. We'll see you in Wilmington, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Happy
Have a good
birthday,
one.
brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to take this quick break. Don't go anywhere. The next series is right around the corner.
stuck in the same old feeling. Feel so detached. My vocal cords are chamada, chamada na cena. Matada, chamada, chamada, chamada na cena. Matada, chamada, chamada na cena. Matada, chamada, chamada na cena. Chamada, chamada. All the ladies hold up, hop in the ride, it's a brand new motor. Get on a fly, live la vida loca. My body fine, it's a Coca-Cola. Hold on, hold on. No one no sleep and I swear to total. Throwing it back when I press rewind. Losing her mind when she see that motion. Yeah, straight to the bag, get racks in the morning. Star boy on the phone named Marin. Feel like Brazil had a man them ballin'. Shoot my shot, then I'm scoring. No one does it better. Body curving, how she swerving like a Travella. We can have a party in the favela. Body curving, how she swerving like a Travella. We can have a party in the You never seen this before. Now I got 4 songs on a billboard. You don't even know about me, no. Used to listen to so much, you know. They said I would never, ever get better. They said I would never, ever get better. Party in there, party in there. Party in there, party in there. Listen to my when she see that motion. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to C3 as we got the second match of the last week of the regular season. Joining me now, the one, the only, from the back end to the front ends. They say pay no attention to the man behind the scenes, but we are going to pay right attention to Mr. Mac Dewey. Welcome, Mark, to the stream. I'm happy to have you here for this Wake Tech versus UNCW matchup.
Hello, hello. Yeah, let me adjust my mic. There we go. Okay. Yep. I had to fix the settings between the pre-show and now. Hopefully coming through okay. Absolute pleasure being on the stream with you, Bearlight. I'm super excited for this match. It has been, I would say, kind of a hot minute since my last cast, but man, I'm feeling good tonight. It's the last week of the regular season, right before LAN, and these next 2 matches are some of our more important ones in terms of even just getting to LAN. Even, you know, LAN seeding is on the line here, and between these next few matches, we're going to try to figure out who our 7 seed is, who our 8 seed is, who's going to be the last one punching their tickets, and unfortunately for one of these squads, who's going to be the 9th seed. Right now, there's a big tie at 3-3 between Clemson of all teams. Crazy how they're in that position. Clemson and UNCW are at 3-3. And then who do we got? UNC Asheville at 4-2 is sitting right there as well. So we've got Wake Tech versus UNCW to kick things off. A really fun series.
It certainly will be. Everything on the line, it seems like, for Wilmington. How they end up performing. Also, Asheville, you know, are keeping close eyes as this match is going on. As if they get swept, they're still in a difficult situation where Wilmington could take them over too. So they're certainly hoping that's not the case. Obviously, Clemson making a case for themselves too. Should be a good series, but let's, you know, grab a snack. Hang out with us here for this great matchup against UNC Wilmington and Wake Tech.
Let's do it, man. Here we go. Best of 5 series. Mark's got to turn up his Rocket League so the fans can get in on the action as well. I was looking in... Oh my gosh, my mic is super loud. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Okay. I was looking at, before the match, this UNCW squad. It's just crazy how it's changed over time, right? I mean, they went from Christian Driptane, who was a co-founder of the league, super strong Rocket League school, and over time the roster has changed dramatically as UNCW is getting the offense rolling early on. For what's at stake here, it's Reticle, Wesam, and Dom. Reticle, I feel like, is the last of the old guard, holding strong on and wanting to punch his ticket to land at Wilmington one last time. Bearlight, I think UNCW's looking for a sweep here as Weesam finds the back of the net.
There you go. That's a good way to start for sure. Yeah, you have to basically be perfect throughout, so why not put on that pressure? You mentioned it was mounting early, and in the first minute and a half, it has been UNCW, so they'll strike first. 1-0 lead here in this game number 1. Trout off the kickoff actually won backwards intentionally by UNCW, so they take a shot here as well, but Gilmore is good for it. With Sam right back to work, though, and Reticle probably wants that back because he was able to direct that one on target. A little bit too hot to handle there. Was able to find that angle, and now Reticle actually heading backwards. Weesam tries to bail him out as Trout will take another shot, but Dobb is good for the save there on the back line for UNCW.
Hey, awesome defense. I remember seeing in chat as we were getting geared up and ready to go for this first game of the best of 5. Dom in chat wanting to make Bleary proud. UNCW, definitely not the season they were hoping for, but they're still in the middle of the pack. I think if everything goes right, if the stars align, they might be able to find themselves as a competing team at LAN. So we'll see how it goes. Halfway through this game, just about, they've got a 1-0 lead. There's Reticle getting it across midfield. I feel like the captain at this point, he's been so consistent for them for such an extended period of time. He's just been really fun to watch. Not, I feel like, the flashiest player, but just such solid fundamentals. I think of him, I don't want to draw too many sports comparisons, but in my mind, I get Tim Duncan vibes from Reticle. Mr.
Yeah.
Fundamental here as he misses on the 50-50 there. We'll see if the Seahawks can keep the offense up.
Natal, very grounded player, but you see Gilmore's got the opportunity. Dom backwards makes that save, but Gilmore right back to work. No boost in the tank. We'll use the ceiling to actually push him back towards the ground so he can find some. That'll be with Sam actually taking that shot. That's a well-placed one, too. I mean, you can't place that any better than he just did.
The snipe! Oh my goodness, look at that shot. Unbelievable. A top-selly snipe, dare I say. Finding the corner and giving UNCW some breathing room here in game number 1. Again, to emphasize for the audience here, there is little to no room for error for the Seahawks here on this night. Clemson fans going to be watching this one pretty closely, maybe even the next match even closer, as Asheville takes on NC State right after this match. So some really impactful matches on the LAN outlook. We're taking C3 to Wilmington, North Carolina. Not this weekend, but the weekend right after, March 21st and 22nd. We will crown a new champion of the Carolinas. UNCW hoping to put themselves in that conversation here tonight. With a minute left, they're still got their 2-goal lead.
Trying to piece anything together. That's a great opportunity. Trout will go top bends this time. So Wake Tech finally found an answer. Took 4 minutes and 5 seconds, but Trout with a great shot there upside down. Both of these teams are really popping off, man. This doesn't seem like a 3-3 versus a 2-4 type of situation matchup.
I know, I feel like sometimes, Bearlight, we don't always get these, you know, it's a lot of flashy plays, but these are some just well-placed shots here to start off this pivotal series here. A good demo. Gilmore looking for something, not going to be able to find it. Here's Weesam bringing the ball up. Reticle's in the corner. He's going to try to contest this one. It gets in front of the net, but Trout able to defend, and he's going into the air. Reticle on defense once again. Knocks that ball away into midfield from the backboard. Trying to find Weesam in the middle of the field. Can't quite do it. Wake Tech's got 15 seconds to try to equalize this game.
They got Gilmore in the air too, looking for Brett, but a little bit too hot to handle. Thought Brett could have gotten up a little bit quicker too. It looked like a great play shot, but they still got possession. And Gilmore's pressing in, low on boost. Doesn't matter, finds Stroud. Great shot, but it's going to be shut down by Reticle on the back ends, and they should be able to solidify. They do. UNCW with a Game 1 victory.
Hey, Weesam wanted to get one more for the road, but luckily for the Seahawks, they don't need it to take game number 1. Reticle and Weesam filling up the stat sheet. Weesam with 5 shots here on the game. Awesome start for the Seahawks, but as we know, I have trouble having series-wide implications off of just game 1. You know, first off, players are just warming up. They're just starting to figure each other out. And I think even game 2, hell, you know, you're still kind of settling in. We saw in the last series, my Tar Heels unfortunately fell a little short. I'm officially on the Baby Yoda hype train as Coastal Carolina looks really, really good. They're going to be fun to watch at LAN as well. So we'll see, though, Bearlight, as both teams figure out how to adapt to each other, how to get comfortable in the series. And it'll be surely fun to watch. As what do you got? What do we be looking for from Wake Tech here in game number 2?
Well, they definitely turned it up, you know, in the last couple of minutes, and a lot of that had to do with their play pretty proactively, finding one another versus just kind of playing a little bit more reactive. Can we find an outlet pass? That's all good and well whenever you're playing defensively, but I really showcase a team that finds each other whenever they do have possession of the ball. So that means quicker rotations, quicker second man to be able to get up there, and less timid maybe on the back end too with your third man. Those are some of the things that I'm looking for to really kind of spark things, and I thought they did a good job of getting that in the second half of that game number 1.
Oh, Weesam looking for some more well-placed shots here. Game number 2, I think he led the game in our first match of the series with 5 shots total. He's moving the ball downfield here as Dom in the corner. Maybe going to find something. Bread, though, solid defense on the backboard. Reticle finding more. I love the Seahawks, what we're seeing so far, trying to set each other up for success in the middle of the field. Reticle's there. Oh, reliable Reticle in the back of the net, able to knock that one away. Now he's going to look to set up the team here, but, you know, setting up the team for him all the way up there on the opposing backboard. Not always ideal. He's unable to get something here. Is Wake Tech looking for their opportunity? Gilmore, awesome ball placement there, but the defense from the Seahawks continuing to hold strong.
Now Brad will look to try to get that on target just a little wide. Gilmore has to shadow back, track back as well, as he was being chased down by a couple of Seahawks. But he'll find Trout on the other side. Reticle with that touch. And set up as well from Trout to try to push it past one. But Weesam was ready for it. And not able to connect with that one either. But able to steal the boost now. Gilmore can't get to it. Reticle.
There he is.
Reticle. Another well-placed shot, man. This has been a clinic as far as target shooting goes.
The doctors are in for our second series of the night, Bearlight. And UNCW get an early lead here, hopefully on their side. I know there's probably a lot of pressure on them riding in this game. I hope with these early goals, you know, they're able to kind of take a step back here. But Brett, I think he's got an open net here. He's just going to walk that one in. Can't get too comfortable now, Bearlight.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those situations where you do something well and you finally break through and suddenly it just all completely nullified. And credit Wake Tech for finding that open opportunity. And number 1, but being able to be opportunistic enough to land that goal and bring us that even. You're right, 100%. 3:19 left. They're going right back to work. Brett's got an opportunity here, but Reticle just enough boost in the tank to be able to shut the first chance down. But Dom still needs to be cautious as Wake Tech is lingering now. They've got some great pressure and some trap game going on at that midfield line, but now UNCW is looking to strike directly back.
So close there for Weesam. Just unable to predict exactly where that ball was going to go. Obviously, tough situation, but Reticle there, I mean, he's doing, I think, not a lot of the heavy lifting, but he's just been, I feel like, all over the field trying to make things happen for the team. He's showing up, you know, if you're looking at, you know, for this match, looking at UNCW, bare minimum, you need Reticle to show up, and he's doing that very, very well. We'll see if Weesam and Dom can keep making some plays. You know, I think they're having a good start to the series as well. Trout trying to keep the ball from going back over to the Wake Tech side. Everyone's just kind of letting it bounce around a little, boosting back up. Weesam gonna miss that ball. That's a little unfortunate here. Wake Tech gonna look to take advantage, but Bread can't make it happen.
will Trout be able to? They directed and get it as far as the box, but Reticle and Dom also had trouble trying to collect themselves and get back into the play. But they'll pass it directly away from Bread as Weesum now plays to middle. Both Gilmore and Bread there, more double committing, but they're able to make it work. As that one's actually falling back down. Gilmore had the opportunity to be able to jump back into that one as UNCW wasn't as ready as they could have been. But they're not able to direct it on target. So Wake Tech will have to live for another opportunity. Maybe it's here. But Tom will be able to catch this one on the back wall. And the slow play to push them out of position as well was great as they transition all the way back down the field.
Trout didn't have any boost. I think I might have saw he picked some up. He's got something in the tank here. Wake Tech, I think, might have a lot of boost here to go on the offense here. Trout's going to take it himself. We see him a good touch to keep it out of the net. Him and Dom working in tandem to keep this game even. Both teams looking for the dagger here as with 1 minute left. It could be anyone's game. Trout trying to find the double tap, but can't quite pull it off there. Good opportunities here late in the second match for Wake Tech. UNCW feels like since after that first goal, they haven't found their footing. Reticle's going to try to do it himself there. A really good opportunity there for the Seahawks, but a really tough play to make. And that can't be the engine that's driving their offense here as we get to under 30.
Oh, Reticle's on this one too. Brett needs to get the touch, gets just enough of it to direct it away. And Trout will go to the corner as Reticle collects again. Off the corner, he'll go. Actually uses Gilmore as a pinch towards the net there. Bit of danger zone. That flick is past one. Can Brett get it on target?
Oh my gosh.
Push it off a defender. Hey, listen, sometimes pinball is how you make it work.
This is a big blow to UNCW. Unbelievable. For the standings, I know it's unfortunate, but when it gets down to the end of the season here, they're going to have to try to find a goal. Even if they win this series, the score differential is a big blow to their overall final ranking in the standings. Let's see if Reticle can go God mode and try to find something, but Wake Tech are going to let this hit the ground. They're going to find a match victory here in the series. They take game 2, and UNCW's chances of land unfortunately just continue to dwindle. A really good game from both teams in this one. Wake Tech finding the dagger late in this one.
That one cuts deep. Yeah, 100%. And now you can breathe a little bit easier, especially if you're Asheville. You have a tough matchup for Clemson. Obviously, that feels better for you as well. And it's tough for UNCW for sure. But those two teams can certainly breathe a little bit better knowing that Wake Tech was able to take one here. And you're right. You called it out. Lack of traction from UNCW to find any kind of offense. Wake Tech, to their credit, was doing a better job of holding it in their offensive zone for an extended period of time. Playing the corners, right? And just making sure that they're playing backwards if you're NCW versus the down-the-field play that we saw in game number 1.
Now UNCW, I mean, you do got to put your best foot forward and continue to fight. You know, you never know how things are going to shake out. You know, I'm sending positive vibes to both teams, and all the teams here in C3, you know, want nothing but the best for the players. Unfortunately, with only top 8 making it, you know, it does feel a little bad for those teams on the cusp at that 9-10 spot. Wilmington, I think, has pretty much been to each LAN, so I think this might be potentially our first LAN without Wilmington, which is just crazy to think about. But let's see. Hey, you're playing with house money at this point. Let's put on a show for stream. And for this, overall, Bearlight, right? It is a young UNCW squad. Dom and Weesam getting their first looks pretty much in the C3 ecosystem. So I'm hoping this is overall just a good experience for building up the team here. Weesam starting off game number 3 with a great save.
You know, their first look brought to you by First Look. C3 Hope to see them more too, because they certainly have improved over the course of the season. I look back at the first couple of games for UNCW this season, and it was pretty tough for them. Now, have they put it all together? No, they probably wouldn't even argue that they have, but they have a long way to go, to your point. So I'd like to see what other improvements they can do as time goes on. That's a really strong play from Wake Tech, though. I mean, they played a really good series, too, in all honesty.
Yeah, Wake Tech, I mean, this was not a free series for Wilmington by any means, and Wake Tech's showing us exactly what they got. We talked about it on the pre-show a little bit. It's a young Wake Tech squad as well, so both teams getting big practice, and Trout, Bread, Gilmore, I'm hoping to see them all back for the next split in fall 2026 for C3 here. This is a fun young squad, and they're putting it on display here. It feels like for the past 5 minutes of gameplay, they've been the ones in the driver's seat and really controlling kind of the pace of play, getting good touches, and they've got a good shot here. Dom! No! Dom!
Oh, boy.
Flips away from the potential save, and a conglomeration of Wake Tech bodies are enough to get this one in the back of the net. They're going to take the 2-0 lead here in Game 3.
Unfortunate. Confidence shattered from lack of land dreams. Unfortunately, it might be going by the wayside, and was waiting forever for that boost, too. Like, everything that could go wrong feels like it might be going wrong for the Seahawks here. Wake Tech's streak continues of goals and momentum. Swinging completely, 2-0, as Trout goes back to work and almost able to find that angle too. As Gilmore go all the way across where Trout's waiting for it. Maybe took a little bit too much time as Sam was able to get to a good fake out though from Bread. Sent right in for Reticle. Also set up with a good bump. Demo rather.
Oh!
And Reticle right to it. Shot taken. A great ceiling presence. We'll put that one in for Wilmington.
Oh, there's Reticle's mechanics on display here. A beautiful job taking it up to the tippity top of the corner and bringing it back down, finding the goal here and trying to pump some life into UNCW, but right off the kickoff, Bearlight, let's take a look at this replay. Unbelievable. Trout reads it like a kindergarten book and just walks that one in. He was paying attention in geometry class, finds the angle to bring the lead for the Wake Tech squad back up to 2.
Got that demo as well, freed up everything. And right now, the only W in the picture right now is Wake. It is not Wilmington. Wake Tech has looked great here as of late. But Dom trying to take that shot and almost had the angle too. And if you're Reticle, you're like, I just had a really solid highlight reel goal. And that's all we've gotten so far, unfortunately. So as Sam is backwards. Great shot to play that, though, in an awkward spot. Still looking for a teammate across. Almost had Reticle. That one shut down. And Dom was out of boost trying to cycle around. No third man back from Wilmington either. Lots of space to work with. Gilmore styling on him. Holy cow. Wake Tech has come alive in the series.
And Bearlight, you pointed out, and we'll see it on the replay, they've got open range to work with. Dom, sees it, tries to get back, but unfortunately, not that the ball placement was a big factor in that goal, but, conscious effort for Wake Tech to try to keep it away from Dom there. And they're able to extend the lead here. Missed touches from UNCW coming back to bite them a little bit, and then as you saw, the rotations not quite where I think they would want it there. Dom tries to go up, can't quite get it. Sam trying to find some motion in the middle of the field, but can't quite do it. Sam gonna try to knock this one up into the corner. Dom is there, maybe a setup for Reticle, but shot goes high. Less than 90 seconds in this one, and it might just be too deep a hole for UNCW to dig out of. I think on the first look show, we did have a feeling this one would go to 5 games. Wake Tech about to find themselves on match point.
Yes, sir. They have done enough, it feels. Be able to earn that spot to match point here at this point in time. Sam, one-ditch effort left. With a minute left, you have to score pretty often, pretty quickly. And that shot from Reticle not on the target either. And when it rains, it pours on the Seahawks. of Wilmington. Trout almost puts in another one as well. Brad Will, top bins. Wake Tech running the show here tonight, man. It has been crazy watching them perform.
And look at, I mean, Reticle, no boost. That is, they're moving so fast there on offense. It's really tough to try and keep making proactive play after proactive play. Eventually, the water's going to find its way through the leaks. Reticle, again, oh my goodness. He's got the mechanics to boot here, but it's 30 seconds left, 5-1. Wilmington gonna try to end the season on a good note here and come back, but Wake Tech taking the series to match point here after a dominant Game 3 showing. My goodness, I mentioned it earlier in the game. From the way Game 2 ended to the start of Game 3, Wake Tech have just been finding their groove. And I said after Game 1, you know, I don't want to rush to any series assumptions. The players are getting comfortable. They're starting to read each other. And Wake Tech has found the UNCW chapter in the book, and they are just cruising through all of what UNCW is throwing at them. And if Game 3 is any indication, I think I'm going to start drawing some series conclusions here all the way in Game 3, Bearlight. Might not want to do it in Game 1, but Wake Tech here, I mean, all three players, Bread, Gilmore, Trout, you guys see it on the screen. Everyone's got at least 400 points. It's a team effort on full display.
100%. I mean, this does not look like a team that's 2-4. Wake Tech is.
Yeah.
I have a feeling obviously it's the way too early rankings, but I feel like Wake Tech can be a land team next season. Like, they're coming after it next semester, man. I'm excited about this team. Like, they look really strong, and I get it. UNCW, a brand new team they're introducing here, and Reticle is doing his best to keep the ship alive. UNCW in this season, but looks like it fell a little bit short here this year. So UNCW has officially mathematically been eliminated from contention, it seems. So tough for them for sure. Obviously, in their home city as well, they'll be able to kind of look from the sidelines. But all credit in the world for Wake Tech, who's been a strong team. I honestly, coming in, thought this would be a close matchup, but it's still not over by any means. Like, UNCW can still take the series regardless. So we'll see if they have the heart to do it. Is what I'm looking for here, Mac.
We are gonna take a breather here as we appreciate the Utopia Coliseum B-roll footage as UNCW takes a breath. They are one of the few teams that has timeouts, like, on lock. Please, to any of our other competing players watching the stream, you have one timeout to use in the series. Everyone, I swear to, like, over the past 2 seasons, Bearlight, every time we tell a team that they have a timeout to use, they're like, what? No way! We had no idea. So this is, hopefully you're watching stream cheering on your fellow teams. This is Mac Dewey's call to action for all the teams. You have a timeout, please use it. Timeouts are super cool. And give kind of a chance for the players to kind of reset, talk to each other, not have to immediately go into the next game. We'll see if it helps the Seahawks here in this pivotal match as they get geared up and ready to go for match number 4. Hopefully just trying to end the season on a good note and get some momentum rolling for the fall season and into getting into summer for just team morale and overall player morale. They're playing with my mind. Finally, the players decide they are good to... Oh my gosh, that is diabolical. I don't know what they did there, but production is not a fan. That was not okay. The players just bouncing in and out of lobbies, so the match instantly starts. Not okay, but here we are.
They're getting experience in this match as well, but also getting experience torturing the producer.
Not my favorite
only once in a
idea. But
otherwise, you will not be favored on any broadcast moving forward.
UNCW
kidding.
never getting blue side again, all right? If they keep the... No, I'm kidding.
That's so funny. They're in orange here tonight, and they also are in the red zone, unfortunately. And I don't mean that in the football turn. I mean that as far as the land terms go. Well, let's see what they can put together. I'm interested to see what these teams can do here in these games. They might not matter on paper, but they will matter in terms of figuring some stuff out for next semester for sure.
Gilmore's got Reticle trying to get the ball around him. Both teams playing with it in the corner. Gilmore going to be able to find it. And I feel like this is kind of symbolic of how this series has been for Wilmington. A little bit of miscommunication and, you know, obviously it's bad clear. Not ideal place for the ball to be. We don't know what the comms are going, but I'm noticing, you know, the third man back who's supposed to be the line of defense, oftentimes not in position. I feel like it's an easy Rocket League caster call out of like, the players are on rotation here, but I do really feel like for Wilmington, it's been a struggle throughout this series tonight.
It has. They haven't quite been able to piece anything together, figure it out, and it almost seems to happen when they're featured on stream more so than anything else. I think it might be like the nerves of being on stream. Like, trust me, I've been there, done that. At the LAN at NC State this past semester, you know, with those showcase show matches that we did, it's tougher in that live like in an environment, right? It honestly is. Like on stream, regardless.
Oh, a lucky dink off the left side there. UNCW saved by the bell here. Under 3 minutes left. They're still trying to find their groove. Reticle shot a little off. That one's going to be off to his left as Wake Tech bringing it up here. Trout sending it to the corner. Looking for the boost. Reticle able to beat the fish to it. But Wake Tech still controlling the midfield. Their offense is just getting going. Nobody in the middle of the field, but great ball placement. And I feel like that's what's been working really well for Wake Tech here. Just in terms of their gameplay, even if someone's not there in the middle of the field, someone's going to find a way. As Gilmore, great save off the backboard.
And you got Gilmore set up for this one as well, but Reticle cut that one off in a hurry. Weesam, shot taken. What a save from Gilmore, but the follow-up is available. Off the rebound, Weesam will punch one in for UNC Wilmington.
There we go. Seahawks. Gilmore tried. What a crazy save from the side of Wake Tech, but the Seahawks find their equalizer here about halfway through this game.
And I mean, that's been their first goal in a very long time since Reticle scored last game, but it's
like
instantly
this!
nullified. Dude, I'm telling you, like,
Not like this.
anything UNCW's found, it's been answered directly back from Wake Tech. Like, they haven't let them breathe at all or enjoy any moment.
That's the case, right? Like, it's that mental, like, enjoyment and, like, getting back in, and then it's like the air gets ripped right out. It's a tough back and forth, because that happened in Game 3 as well. So we'll see if the Seahawks can stick with it. Under 2 minutes left. They need another equalizer here. They're going to try to keep on fighting. Weesam trying to put the ball in the center, but Gilmore's right there, and that's awesome ball movement. Bearlight, Wake Tech finds another goal.
Yeah, to stride again, just be able to camp out downfield. Cherry picker, Brad took no hesitation there. And if you're looking for creative ways to get down the field against a team that's holding you defensively to some degree, it's being creative, being able to go down. Whenever you see that your team has possession and you have some space to work with, more importantly, they're not gapping up, take advantage of it. And that's what they've been able to accomplish. And UNCW, hearts broken for the LAN, and it seems like it's definitely carrying over to these later games.
90 seconds left. They're still in this game. Plenty of time left. We'll see if they can end their season on a win. But Wake Tech, since game number 2, they've been controlling this series. They've just been, I'll say, on point for the most part across the board. Gilmore, Brett, and Trout showing up here in week number 7 of the C3 spring season. Brett looking for yet another goal, but Trying to get it past Reticle is a tough task to try to make work, but now Reticle out of boost. Sam not going to touch. He's going to play a little patient here. He's going to look for his opportunity in the middle of the field, but Wake Tech controlling it. Dom trying to get aggressive here on the blue side of the field. Not much time left. Nothing left to lose. Reticle, a pop shot over him is Bread looking for the double tap. Oh my goodness, that was such a good opportunity. Bread just barely missing. We see Gilmore bumping in the opposing net, and with 20 seconds left, Wilmington need to make something happen fast before Wake Tech finds the final dagger.
And that was almost it too. A little floater might be all it takes. Be able to end it right where it stands, or maybe the clock will do just fine as well. That shot is going to be defended by Sam, but it's still pressure and not allowing UNCW to do anything. They were shut down basically all series long. They took one. If you're UNCW, that's all you got. As Wake Tech take 3 in a row. Reticle for the road, but not enough to tie it up. It'll be Wake Tech with this win, 3-1 in the series over UNC Wilmington.
Reticle able to end the season on a great goal, but unfortunately for UNCW, unable to get this final win. They fall to 3-4. I think they're going to be tied with Wake Tech in the standings. Awesome series from Wake Tech overall, by the way. I know we've been focusing on UNCW a little bit. Luckily, no one's roasting us in chat for it. But Wake Tech's had an awesome series. I think they were on the outside looking in for the most part in terms of land placement. I don't think Clemson lost to NC A&T. That would be a crazy upset to maybe put Wake Tech somehow in the hunt for that number 8 spot for LAN. But just want to give Wake Tech some flowers. Awesome series. We're going to have Bread for the post-game interview. We're going to break our fast with some Bread interview, which will be awesome. And yeah, great series. Was awesome casting. Depending on, we'll maybe get Skyline back for some more casting. We'll have to see. The classic Tuesday night update, Bearlight, throwing off, luckily, not just C3, but a lot of other Rocket League competition this Tuesday night. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, man. It's been pretty crazy. But I was glad we got to at least spend some time on stream. Maybe it'll be longer. We'll get to see. Plus, we have the interview, too, that we get to spend together as well. So, that being said, we will take that super quick break as we set up the interview here. Promise we'll be right back here with Bread. We'll talk to him in just a little bit. Welcome back to C3. Again, Bear Lights and Mac Dewey with you here for this round. And we got a winner, Brad, here for the interview. Brad, first of all, congratulations on your series win. And just got to ask you, obviously, it hasn't been quite the season that you were looking for, but you guys are really building something towards the end of the season.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, me and Trout were we played together for the last about year now. Gilmore's a new addition to the team, so we're still working on building that chemistry. But we're hoping to hit the fall semester pretty hard.
Had to happen at least once this season where someone's trying to talk but they're muted on stream. So happy to have you for the post-game interview, man. I'm just curious, wanting to hopefully help the C3 fans at home learn a little bit more about you. I know at college you're like, oh, tell me about yourself, for like so many different facets, whether it's like class or whatnot, it's always all over the place. So, but just curious for the fans at home, Bread, what year are you in? How much bread can I expect to get in C3? I'm curious just to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Good to go.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. Okay, so right now I'm kind of like a sophomore
Okay.
pursuing engineering right now.
Yeah.
Coming back, I just did 4 years in the Air Force, my wife and I. So we just moved from Virginia and moved back down to the country in Lillington, North Carolina. We're loving it. So just going to Wake Tech right now, and I think I have another 3 semesters to get up to Calc 3 finish. So I think I have quite a few more seasons of
Nice.
C3 to go.
Nice. Love to hear
And
it. And you
I
talked a
think
little.
Gilmore as well.
Okay, perfect. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about C3. Getting to know the players, seeing you guys, grow and compete over a series of a few splits and a few semesters. Where it's not just random names on the stream. We're trying to figure out how to pronounce certain gamer tags. We still sometimes struggle with it, but we're making it work the best we can. Brett, I'm just curious a little bit. Was it just through the esports program and esports club that you kind of ran into the team and thought you'd be interested in playing competitively? How'd you kind of get your start here? Hey, how'd you kind of find yourself here at C3?
Well, originally I was trying to figure out how to get into state for engineering, and I
Mhm.
see that they're taking, I believe, scholarships for like Rocket League, and I was like,
Okay.
no way, like that's crazy. And I was like, let's see if like Wake Tech has one.
Yeah.
And like crazy enough, Trout was actually in my math class, and
Mhm.
like he was sitting beside me, wicked smart, and I was like, yeah, you play any games like Rocket League? Normally people are like Plaid or something. This dude's like GC3. I'm like, oh, perfect. So, we recruited him, and we really built up the team, after Deadsy. And
Mhm.
it's been a slow build, but I think we're gaining some momentum here.
Heck yeah.
That's crazy, dude. I have a very similar story, but I won't share it. I actually had a Rocket League individual Dewey at UNC Charlotte that also was in my class. Crazy enough, and invited me to their club as well. So a similar story is crazy. Also, Calculus 3. I went through Calculus 4, dude. So obviously, big brain plays, and it translates. It translates on the pitch too. Like you can see your little head fakes that you like to throw too, man. Like you've got some
Yes.
high IQ plays, dude. Talk a little bit about your game style and maybe how that translates.
Thank you, thank you. I don't want to spend the hours in doing training simulators, so I have just gotten really good at my ground game. I take pride in my fakes and just being able to flick. So once we noticed pretty early on that they were being really aggressive with their trying to take possession, it was just easy to do a little chop here and there, get a little head fake, and then honestly they just kind of fell apart and they started demo chasing. So just
Which-
try to play smarter rather than super technical, because if I start going for flip resets, it's gonna be their ball, and it's gonna be in our net for sure.
Now you got the indicator to maybe tell you when you accidentally do it. Like I did.
Exactly. That was for me. That was just for me.
Man, that's awesome. I just love the fact that you guys are building something. We're going to be excited to see you all next semester for sure. Hopefully, if you all join us, we'd love to have you, of course. And last thing I want to do as well is give you a time for shout outs. Anybody you want to shout out on the stream too?
Okay, for shout outs, I definitely have to say Gilmore, you really held it down today. The 50-50s were amazing, especially on kickoff. And Trout
yeah.
really holding it down with all the aerials, good beats. My beautiful wife, Hannah, she's been watching the stream, so definitely have to call her out. About to celebrate our 5-year anniversary
Oh,
in May.
Nice.
So There's
go.
that, and I think that's it. Thank you. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for hosting this. It's so much fun watching you guys commentate and bring so much like entertainment to like such a boring sport to people who don't play the game.
Pleasure to have you, man. Panda says W. Brett, and I
Absolutely,
completely agree in that as well. Brett Legacy game from Gilmore 2 showing you love there as well, and I agree. Thank you again for your service as well, and congratulations on a big season win as well.
Thank you. It was an honor. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Take care. We're going to take that quick break and be right back with the next series, UNCA going up against NC State. Don't go anywhere.
and collegiate competitors opportunities to learn shoutcasting, broadcasting, league operations, and management, and honestly just getting that competitive feel and showcasing what they can do on a competitive stage. Unless you're one of the top 1% universities in the nation, a lot of these students don't even get those opportunities and the chance to really represent what they can do themselves. And the third thing was to really show what esports can do whenever it's backed by the community and what a grassroots organization can really do. That community backing is crucial for almost everything esports related. So C3 is really trying to showcase a new era of esports and how it should be done with that backing of the community. Whether it's the players, whether it's the normal staff and volunteers helping us, or it's the institutions themselves, a league cannot survive without that community backing.
Hey y'all, Coach Sathy from NRG Esports here, and today I'm here to endorse C3 Esports and their objectives as an organization. As a former professional player and current head coach, I understand the needs of both professional players and competitive hopefuls alike. and C3 Esports has that extra developmental step that playing the game on its own will not provide. Soft skills such as honest and effective communication, teamwork, and working within a structure are just some of the benefits for those partaking in the league, on both the playing side and the tournament organizing side. I hope those watching the video will research for themselves what C3 Esports is and engage with their mission. As a North Carolina native, I'm proud of what they've done, and I'm excited to see what they continue to do.
Hey everyone, it's Jen, also known online as Lemon Kiwi. I'm an esports commentator for over 10 years, and I wanted to show support for C3 Esports and all the work they do in the Carolinas, because this kind of grassroots platform is what makes esports actually grow. This gives an opportunity for students to have structure, real competition, and to develop before that big spotlight hits. And it's where players learn how to compete, how to communicate, how to take the game seriously. And that foundation is what turns passion into something sustainable. And it's not just about winning games, it's learning how to show up for your team, to improve, and to be responsible for something, to represent something bigger than just yourself. And I think what C3 Esports does is an amazing opportunity, it's a great platform, and I hope it gets all the support it needs.
And that's what I'm saying here, right? It's that C3 Esports exists to create real sustainable pathways for students, schools, and partners. We're not chasing trends. We're not chasing one-off activations. We're building infrastructure that allows communities to grow, to compete, to thrive long-term. That's what makes this different and why we see such a lasting impact in the community.
Hi, I'm Blake Mr. Epic Phillips, and leagues like C3 play a pretty pivotal role in the current and future state of collegiate esports, because at the moment, the disparity between top funded programs and programs that don't receive much, if any, funding at all is growing pretty rapidly. And so opportunities for players outside of the top 0.1% of a game's player base are starting to dwindle, and these are opportunities like playing on LAN, which is something that all collegiate esports athletes should have the chance to do at least once in their careers, or just playing in a league where they've got a reasonable shot at winning or even competition to play against. And so the responsibility of hosting platforms like that has fallen on regional and local organizations like C3, and they do it on a level that is on par with a lot of professional organizations that receive serious amounts of funding and sponsorship. So it's seriously important that leagues and organizations like C3 at the regional and local level stick around for as long as we want collegiate esports to prosper.
And also, big shout out to the C3 group. They have consistently been working in the background, and not many people pay attention to their league. We try our best to bring eyes to them because I love what they're doing. We love what they're doing. Nate also does a really good job of posting on Twitter all the time about it. Like, they're doing such a good job. And as a regional and as state-based leagues go, they are one of one.
Hi, my name is Josh Piccolo, better known online as Somber. I am a collegiate and professional Rocket League commentator and analyst. I want to take a moment to highlight the importance of the grassroots collegiate Rocket League circuits, especially here with C3. The role C3 plays in the growth of the collegiate scene by having highly competitive regional competition not only helps players develop locally, but nationally as well, now boasting 3 teams from the region who made the top 48 nationally. C3 also provides a great viewing experience for their fans, hosting weekly streams that give a professional feel and give a platform to these players to highlight their gameplay, and for giving fans a way to keep up with all the action week in and week out for the entire semester. The biggest opportunity that C3 provides for the students, staff, and programs is their unique LAN experience, giving players who otherwise may not have their shot to compete on stage a way to compete in person and in front of a live audience. All of these opportunities a league like C3 brings to the region are crucial not just for player development, but for staff, organizers, broadcasters, and the overall collegiate esports ecosystem. Leagues like C3 help build confidence, professionalism, and long-term pathways within Rocket League and esports as a whole. By investing in local talent and accessible competition, C3 has strengthened the region to have some of the best talent in the nation. It's elevated the level of play in the esport and has already helped shape the path forward for collegiate Rocket League in the Carolinas.
Hey folks, it's me, Spaceman. Today I just want to talk a little bit quickly about C3 Esports.
Got a monster inside of me, you better watch out. If your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets caused real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored.
Welcome back to C3 as the final week is actually going to wrap up here. We can bring Skyline back in. Welcome back, buddy.
Thank you so much. Had to take a little bit of a break, but we are indeed back, and what a matchup to come back to. Final matchup of the night, UNC Asheville versus NC State. NC State, I've talked about them quite a bit throughout this season because last season barely making it into LAN as the team that was hosting said LAN as that 8th seed, and then showing potential now hopping into the season. They have looked like a top team, currently sitting top 4, trying to keep that top 4 mentality going into this matchup, while Asheville holding on by a thread in that top 8, trying to make sure that they can still qualify for this lane because there is potential for them to fall out, but it's still unlikely as long as they put on a good performance.
Exactly. You got Clemson going on up against NC-A&T, which I'm not sure if that's concluded or not, or been played or not. But for Clemson, they're feeling really good about that. Being able to potentially move into the 8th spot over Wilmington is pretty much solidified here at that point in time. Unfortunately for Wilmington, they did not perform as well as they hoped to against Wake Tech with that 3-1 loss against them, which almost guarantees that Asheville will be in. I'm pretty sure, if I do the math correctly, at least one game is all it would take, I think, in their eyes. But that being said, they have to go up against this NC State team, which might deny games altogether. This team has been red hot all season long.
Agreed. The Wolfpack have been chomping down on every opponent that they have faced so far, except for one. I believe, if I am correct, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. It was Winthrop Garnett, who is a really good team in their own respect to anyone that doesn't follow them. The B team, so to say, for Winthrop. Either way, at Tri-City Slam, if anyone knows about that event, some of the top teams in the entire country, where Oklahoma Christian, another top team in the country, won that event, Winthrop Garnett finished top 6 out of 20 teams. So a heavy hitter in this league, but I mean, that just shows that NC State, they're coming out here to prove something, whether it's against these hard teams they consider easy. Either way, they're going to look to come out hot.
They are currently sitting at number 4. That is because they are actually a game behind playing. Greensboro and Charlotte actually have 6 games total played that have been reported. So NC State otherwise have looked incredibly strong. Their only loss coming to an extremely tough team, to your point. So they're looking to really prove themselves again coming in to get that top 3 spot if they're able to. For Asheville, it's to prove themselves going into LAN, that they're not just going to squeak by, that they actually want to be comfortably within the top 8. And doing so against a big team, I think, would do them wonders coming as LAN approaches.
With LAN emerging indeed, you got to keep an eye out on these players because this could also be a potential matchup at LAN as we see, because if they finish top 4 for NC State, bottom 4 for Asheville, depending on how seeding works whenever we get to playoffs at the LAN, this could be one of the very first matchups that we see. So, you know, it could be a preview, maybe not. We'll have to wait and find out, as Asheville already trying to start off with a goal here. But so far, kind of back and forth. Maybe an open goal here for Sunday Driver, but Rocket able to fall down on that one. And that name, Rocket, is going to be a name you will hear a lot tonight from what we have seen in past experiences for this team. Rocket has always been one of those players on NC State to pull their weight, to create the opportunities, to be a striking phenomenon for the Wolfpack as they're looking to try to get some offense going here, but Asheville still doing a good job on their back line to clear these balls out.
A freshman, by the way, you know, stay plugged in Coca-Cola All-Star from his days in high school. And then, you know, following him into the collegiate scene. It's crazy, number 1, to have an impact that early in your career, but number 2, be able to be a leader, right? We've seen great steps from Maple taking the next step. Ventus has been a good addition as well to NC State as far as being able to really establish himself in NC State as a top-tier team. And I really do think it all goes back to Rocket and his leadership, even as a freshman. To have young talent is one thing. To have that young leadership is great to see from NC State.
Teams always need leadership. You got to have someone that's able to, even when you go down in games, get that mental backup, keep everyone in the right mindset, and be able to kind of control the field, kind of just like a IGL in a way, which you kind of see with other games. Rocket League, there isn't really considered any IGL, so to say. So to have someone kind of take over that role in one way or another can always be a huge difference when it comes to series like this, whenever it matters for seeding, for playoffs, or even just to try to make sure that they make these important events such as the C3 LAN. As we see a whiff come out there, maybe a shot going on target, but actually off the side wall from Rockets, and they're going to try to follow back up as they have a 3v1 opportunity. Ventus tries to get it mid. Kuzo plays it under, and Asheville once again, defense holding stout. The offense looks strong, but nothing to come of it.
Nothing yet. They leave this one too where Ventus can get to it. Although challenged there in midfield from Grizzy, it'll be Kuzo to drop back down and get that chip up in the air. And Rocket with that 50-50 as well, as Ventus will put it to side wall. He did get the 100. I thought it was certainly a raise to the boost. Wasn't sure who was going to come up with it, but he does get it as Maple tries to play it back in. Kuzo's been basically everywhere on the defensive half. As if he can translate that into some offense, might spell actually some success here for Asheville. They've been doing good going toe-to-toe with this NC State team.
NC State still keeping the pressure onto this blue half, though, doing a good job of cutting in a second man to keep the Bulldogs on their back heels right now. As another shot goes through, it's a wide open net. Ventus doesn't have boost, though, so Sunday Driver able to make sure he gets in front of that one before it becomes even more of a threat. As again, it looks like NC State trying to take the counter. Ventus with a shot, top left corner, through off the pass from Rocket. The 1-2 strikes quick for NC State.
Yeah, good tracking here as Rocket had put it into a difficult spot for Kuzo to handle. And Ventus was, that's kind of tough to read. You don't know what the defense is going to do to that. Are they going to punch a corner? Are they going to be able to actually get it and direct it where they want to? In that case, no dice. Right into the hands of Ventus, who is ready and prepared for it. And that no hesitation attitude is what NC State has built their identity upon. Has found good luck there, although Sunday Driver almost got that double just now. Could have put Asheville right back to it, but instead NC State able to clear the zone and play to the corner and play some more offense here with 45 seconds left in this game.
I was about to say Sunday Driver taking a page out of NC State's book, going quick and almost having a clip to live on for the C3. But unfortunately for him, not able to get that read with no boost. Now, speaking of no boost, he's low, and Rocket just has a free net off the demo from Maple. Once again, NC State just able to make space, create it with the teamwork, and then just get the goals. What a shot and what a play.
That was absolute filth. Number one, slow played it, but then picked up the pace midair with the air drag itself. Then got the flip reset. Could have used it. He was gearing up to use it, but also had the comms that the demo was coming out and peeled off of it. I'm convinced, because like he pulled himself backwards and like launched himself like an anti-musty type of situation. You know what I'm talking about, but it was just crazy all around. A great decision to pull that back down to. Rocket makes it 2-0 and out of reach here for UNC Asheville if they can't put one on the board here, which they're getting close. Top of the box, but Ventus will play it back out, and that'll solidify things for the Wolfpack as they take game one.
Yeah, the Bulldogs so far, they've been knocking on the door, been barking, trying to get their way in, get their foot in. But unfortunately for them, the Wolfpack are a little bit stronger, you know, more grouped together, and the name suggests it perfectly. All three of them have been looking like they're playing on the same level. They look like an actual team. Not to discredit Asheville, they have been playing really good on their back line. They have 0 saves by some miracle, even though it feels like they saved everything. But Asheville, they're a team that once they can get their offense to get shots on target, because those 3 shots, they felt weak. Once they can start getting a little bit more into the rotations and being able to hit those outlets, get those demos to create chaos on the back line for NC State, then they will be able to get more through. And NC State, they just haven't seemed flustered. Asheville hasn't done enough to kind of catch them off guard yet.
Agreed. And I think it's a good sign, hear me out, for Asheville that they don't have many saves, because they're actually able to cut the plays off before they develop. But that being said, it's not a good sign when you let up 2 goals without any saves, meaning that you left the door wide open, had no opportunity to be able to shut them down. Not to mention they got shut out, so that offense was non-existent. So they're doing a few things right. And number one was being proactive and be able to challenge NC State. That means that you're gapping up on this team, that you're finding the right times to get challenges. Now it's all about having control at the midfield to punch you back in and get some challenges and some opportunities of your own. I think that's where they can find some value if you're UNC Asheville, because all things considered, even though you're shut out, it didn't look like a bad game one. And I'm sure that they can actually gain some momentum against this Wolfpack team if they're able to put something together.
These games we expect to be close, and so far after that game 1 definitely was close, but like we said, Asheville, they got to find a breakthrough quickly. They don't want NC State taking over this series, and we might see it here. Rocket trying to get the pass. So far, 100% goal participation, 1 goal, 1 assist, and he has been the lead so far. Like we said, kind of that IGL being a leader for his team. We see in 50 coming out on the back line. Maybe a block comes out here. It's middle, but no one there to cut. Maybe Rocket has it, but he's 0, so not able to get the touch. Bumps come out. Asheville finally getting some plays drawn up. but unfortunately for them, it was erased right away as the Wolfpack get that block out. Maybe a shot goes on target from Sunday Driver with a cut. Pass goes down low. Sunday Driver shot, but what a save by Ventus. Zero boost, doesn't matter, falling off the backboard. The gravity carries, and another save on the back line. Once again, the Wolfpack will not be denied a goal.
Bailing themselves out through pure desperation and being able to read it, the jump back there. Bit of a double commit, but didn't throw the Wolfpack off. But Asheville finally finding some great opportunities. That's a flip reset twice in hands. Rocket tries to get it over to a teammate by waiting them out. But maybe he waited a little bit too long. Guess the rest of Asheville was there. But look at this slow play from Maple. Hello? What happened to the UNCA defense there? They were lost.
That's the mind game for you that you just have to prepare yourself for when you go against a team like NC State. They know when to play patient. They know when to try to throw you off your line. That's what we see. They play poised on the back line. We saw those saves coming out even when both players were zero boost, and they had to make it when it was over halfway through. And on the offense, they take their time to make you rush, make you seem like you have to push forward and create something when you don't have to. So it forces it through, and Sunday Driver, an open net miss to the wayside. They're going to want that one back because that would have been the first goal of the series for them. But still in a drought right now as it is unanswered 3-0 to NC State.
Oh no, another one coming too. Good save from Kuzo. Finally something to cheer about here in this game. Because you're right, I mean, that was a blatant opportunity that they could have had. Unfortunately, they did not capitalize on. They're looking to do it here, but Maple did a great job of reacting in time. Even without boost, to be able to chop that one away. And now Rockets got boost in the tank to be able to get it at least stagnant here. UNC Asheville and the Bulldogs. Only short-lived, though. It's a great pass from Ventus over to Maple. He's got flip reset in hand, shut down by Grizzy. But Rocket wants to stay on this ball, too. Kuzo looking for Sunday Driver. That play a little bit too loose. That went off the bar. Nobody reacting for the Bulldogs. Luckily for them, it somehow stays out.
And wow, coming out in the chat from Maple, and wow, indeed, that looked like that should have been in off the bar, but the woodwork just not wanting to be friendly to NC State right now. You might see a bump come out here. Shot possibly going through, but Kuzo with a nice cut as last man to ensure Asheville still has a way in this game. So we see Demo come out, shot go on, but Ventus with a great diving save. And something you'll realize with NC State is how well they're spaced out. You'll see all three of them taking up space on the field. They're not clumped together at all. Something that I believe I pointed out actually before this match, where Asheville, they're more than anything, they're tight. They're not really taking as much space as State is. They're playing too far together, which is not allowing for as many opportunities as they want. The demos, even if they get them, the second man is either too far in front of the ball, like their first man trying to play too close up near, or the third man's just too far away from the play to where they can't get the shot on target. We finally see the second man come through, and they make me eat my words. They finally have that second man in the play, and look how it works out perfectly.
Finally got the Wolfpack off their back. I mean, that's the first goal of the series. Comes about 7 minutes and 9 seconds after the drop of the first ball, after the first kickoff. Crazy how it took them that long, but they're equalized, all things considered, in game number 2. A little bit disorganized, yes, but was able to sneak one in. And sometimes that's all it takes to get a team going. Obviously, the gap work needs to be a little bit stronger, but step in the right direction, certainly here for the Bulldogs. Sunday Driver looking for that extra touch, will propel it in. Maple will just catch it on the back wall, looking for Rocket. Good pass and good anticipation again. And Grizzy will take it up sidewall, but Ventus was tracking this one too. Should be able to go ceiling high to get the touch. He does. He'll punch it back in, but Kuzo waiting for this one too. Doesn't have any help downfield though. At 50-50, he'll find Maple, and again, the Wolfpack right back in the zone.
NC State, they're doing a good job of being able to cut off this midfield. They're controlling it really well, but once Asheville finds a way through, they have looked dominant, except for the fact that NC State's defense is just a little bit stronger than they would hope for. A bump coming out on the team. A demo goes through, and Kuzo forced the plate to the side corner. Now Maple, maybe a shot to go through. He had the opportunity, but shut down as he missed it wide. Grizzy now has an open net on a bang, plays it to the side. Maple tries to take the angle, but he has no boost, so he's left awkward and left for Kuzo. Kuzo plays it middle on Sunday Driver. Asheville, after losing 2-0 in game 1, they're back on top in game 2.
Yeah, and then took that out of their mind, the mistake that happened a little bit earlier from Sunday Driver in particular, where there's a wide open cage and he missed it. Others that are weaker would completely be lingering on that mistake, not be able to make up for it later in this game. Different story from Sunday Driver, who comes right back and able to establish themselves in a great position to be able to put Asheville on top here in game number 2 with time ticking down. 30 seconds left, and they're going to need a push if you're NC State. Trying to keep themselves into the driver's seat here as he's challenged too, but Ventus, that shot directed high with 15 seconds remain.
So they're just trying to make sure they can keep as much pressure on. Maybe another goal just to put the dagger into game 2, and the dagger indeed is through the hearts of the Wolfpack. Unfortunately for them, just the defense collapsed so hard. No one challenging that, and every goal Asheville has gotten within this game has just been the same thing. First man, play it off the side wall, play it off the back wall, immediately press, keep them awkward. Second man, follow up tight, follow up close, trust for your first man to make that play, and then just tap it in the net. All 3 goals, same thing, and hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Bearlight.
That's right. Keep on the same trend. Continue to find success where it's given to you, and finally they became an opportunistic team that took advantage of the mistakes from NC State that were in bunches, which we are not accustomed to saying at C3 at all, especially this season where they've looked incredibly, especially strong here in this one. But the shot count was heavily favoring UNC Asheville. They were able to take advantage of in a lot of ways, enough to get Mr. Flamingo to take a break from his spring break and come back here and watch his crew find some success in that game number 2.
Yeah, State, I mean, they just looked so, like at the beginning of the game, it looked like everything was put together. It looked like they had stuff figured out even from last game, carrying it over with that 3-goal unanswered. And then all of a sudden, a switch basically flipped inside of Asheville, and they were like, hey, wait, I realized something, right? Like, their back line, they're leaving this open. They're leaving this open. If we just play a little bit more aggro a second, if we trust our first man, we're going to get these goals. And that's exactly what they did. That switch just put a light turned on above their heads, and unfortunately for them, that light was a little bit too bright for State to where they got blinded essentially by it.
Yeah, 100%. The Bulldogs proving to be the better of the 2 dogs in this situation, at least in game 2, as they were able to take that win. And you think it would be a closer affair too, but no, it was heavily shot at count from UNC Asheville. Asheville looked strong in this regards. Their defense was just as strong as well, as they shut down the Wolfpack again. And this time by making saves, but also by being proactive and gapping up like it was seen so many times. So they kept that same trend while also finding a solution. But you have to keep evolving, especially if you're going up against an NC State, team. Sure, you don't want to make too many rash changes, but if the Wolfpack are able to come out and find another solution, you have to be ready to be able to answer it on the fly versus giving up another game win. So step 1 complete for Asheville, TLDR. Step 2, go back to work.
And something I want to point out about this series is that for both NC State and for Asheville, they have one common opponent when it comes to a win-loss differential, and that is Coastal Carolina, a team we talked about earlier. Coastal Carolina, NC State ended up beating them, but Asheville ended up losing to that team. So maybe that's something that kind of gets in the heads like, okay, this is the component where it shows who could be better than the other when it comes to potential, like the ceiling versus the floor. How high is our ceiling and how high is our floor? Well, right now, both these teams' floor have seemed pretty equal, but the ceilings have also seemed either one way or another. It's very fluctuant about how they go about either way. It's either NC State plays heavily aggro and they stay on that blue end to where it's just free goal after free goal like we might see here, and Asheville just can't reach that one. But Asheville, again, they're a team that can be that aggro side. They just have to be able to get out of their own half, but NC State doing a good job making sure they can't.
Yeah, there's a bang-bang play that we're used to here from the pack. Great finds. And another thing was Ventus and Maple, too, a combination that certainly needs to start cooking up, and they did. I mean, that was as quick as you could possibly do it, but the kickoff goal returned by the Bulldogs. You let your guard down for a second, and all that momentum that you're trying to steal back, well, Asheville has got the equalizer.
It might not be a Sunday, but that dude really knew how to just drive that one into a free net, because that's all he had to do. Wide open net off a kickoff goal. He will take that any day of the week, and Sunday Driver will get this one back tied up in game number 3, and maybe another one on a wide open net. Sunday Driver is just farming open nets left and right.
It's got to be a good day for this man. You rarely get those against any team, much less NC State. So, I mean, Rocket had a lot of trust in Maple to be able to get that and didn't have the boost in the tank to be able to swing over and get it. So, plain and simple, that equation equals free goal and free lead, really, for Asheville. after a kickoff goal and a wide open net are the two ways that they get on top. NC State needs to stop shooting themselves in the foot if they want to be able to find a Series 1.
They just look, again, like they have to be more coerced together. We've seen the flashes we've seen the brilliance that they can put together. Rocket being the leader and almost a snipe coming in for a hat trick for Sunday Driver, but a save goes out to the wayside by Ventus. Rocket has been that main guy, the leader on offense. What seems like every play that has gone well has gone through him, or he has at least been involved in it in some situation, whether it's a bump, a pass, or the shot itself. But unfortunately him, speaking of bumps, he's going to be sent out the way by one of the Asheville players, and a hat trick is sent on the way for Sunday Driver.
Man, that's just a minute and 28 seconds in. And this time it's a demo that is the reason why it's wide open, but still the same pain. Here for the Wolfpack. All right, Wolfpack, they're the ones needing to find an answer. That's a kickoff win for them, but Kuzo was prepared and jumped in on the play as well. But they're not going to be able to get back. Ventus had to swing around and make a crafty save. But that's a good pass back here to Rocket, finally finding one another in the defensive zone to be able to get a clearance. The Wolfpack defense has collapsed essentially, and Asheville's been laying it on as far as forcing them into situations, forcing their hands defensively. It almost feels like they need a goal pretty quickly here. Asheville has had solutions basically left and right.
I would say that usually when it comes to the two of the animals between the Wolfpack and the Bulldogs, usually the Wolfpack are the ones to be able to smell fresh blood and make sure that they can capitalize on these attacks. But right now the Bulldogs, even being the smaller of the two, they have just been so much more dominant at being able to find these opportunities to squeeze them through, to claw at every single chance they get. As we see the defense still holding super strong for them. They aren't allowing anything after that first goal went through within the first couple seconds of the game. And we might see a miscommunication here. That ball goes right off the post. Almost a terrible timed cue for NC State. But luckily for them, that post is saving the day. But they still have a 2-goal deficit to get over. 2 minutes left in this game to work with. All the time in the world, but what can you do with it, NC State?
Rocket left for Maple. Ventus out to try to get a bump. They're confused, and Maple will take advantage of it. So, mistakes have happened both ways, and NC State will take advantage of this one, as Kuzo's just got to leave that. I feel like it's just a miscommunication there from Asheville, plain and simple.
Completely agree. That bump coming on the back line, Kuzo thinks he can still get in front of it because he has that flip. But unfortunately for him, he's not trusting the fact that he has two teammates behind him who can do something more with it. You don't always have to make a touch if you can even get it, as we see there. And fortunately for them, that's only going to keep them up by 1, so they're still in the lead. But they got to hold on as NC State now getting some more life breathed back into them. We see a bang coming downfield to Kuzo from Grizzy. No one there, so it's just going to be a free ball into the hands of the Wolfpack. Ventus tries to take it up high and go for the 50, but he doesn't get the flip the way he wants, so Sunday Driver just has a free touch. Kuzo goes up high, tries to go for the double, but Rocket gets the cutoff, and it's going to go right back into the hands of a free Maple who leaves it for Ventus. And we see the spacing still working out for both these sides. They're trying to get the passes through. You see the outlets downfield to where they're trying to go quick on these counters. They want to take what they are given, but right now the defense has held stronger than what we've seen at the beginning of this game, but there's still possible ways for either team to let something through once a mistake happens, which usually we see happen within a split second.
Rocket's been facilitating plays defensively now at this point. If Asheville's going to be all over you, you got to look for somebody else to really spark things, and he's done a great job of this. Sunday Driver gets a pretty solid touch there too. Ventus will go off sidewall to Maple. He'll just chip one in, looking for Ventus, and he'll put this back wall. Kuzo should be able to drive up and get it, but does not. And now Ventus will leave it. Maple tries the angle. He got it on target, but no velocity. Rocket's right back on it, though. Will launch one towards the back end. There's Ventus to try to take a shot, but the shot, again, nothing on it. No mustard. They need to find something, find it quick. 33 seconds left, and Ventus off the corner. He's got Maple. Takes an extra touch as well, but Grizzy will shut it down.
NC State, just all the pressure in the world, but just that third man is being left uncontested. No one's going for him, just allowing for a free save. The shots have been too weak to even throw them off, so they gotta get that pressure going. You only got 15 seconds remaining. You got to throw them awkward if you want to get this game, because whatever team wins this goes on double match point. And the Wolfpack right now are trying to find a way. They gotta go all the way from their own half. Shot goes on Asheville. It's a little bit too high. They gotta keep it up. Ventus throws it to the sidewall, tries to get another, but is blocked down by Sunday Driver. Falls into the hands of Rocket. Rocket tries to take it to the sidewall, but pre-jump by Grizzy. Grizzy gets the touch. This might be down, but Maple gets it through. Another one goes right up, but a fake comes out, and Asheville takes the 2-1 lead in this series.
Yeah, and they've got all the momentum on their side, too. The Bulldogs are certainly feeling themselves right now. Flamingo must be super happy in chat currently. So for NC State, timeout taken. Again, Nate and Mark, we're super proud in the background to see them actually be able to utilize a timeout here. Great call from them, because we saw some good things, but they weren't able to overcome the little hurdle there. Whenever Sunday Driver was able to, they gave up a couple of freebies. Sunday Driver took advantage of those, then got the hat trick to solidify that. 3 goals on 6 shots. I don't understand how UNC Asheville has been one-sided as far as the shot count goes in this series, but that's what we're seeing. Credit to the Bulldogs, man. They're looking great.
Yeah, they just really know how to capitalize on their counterattacks. We saw the demos coming through. They're playing well coerced, because there's the goals of, it just seems like NC State's relying on having that last man back by himself a little too much, to where they just have to send a first man forward and get the demo, and it just creates the freest net of their life. Or Sunday Driver, just the ball falls on his hands in midfield and it's just always open for him somehow. So, I mean, kudos to him where kudos is due. But right now, if you are NC State, you got to be wondering what they're talking about in this timeout. They got to realize that that third man is the main issue for them, that they're leaving them alone, low boost, that they have to play a little bit more passive on their own back line, control the midfield a little bit better, get those cutoffs to where that pressure can remain on the blue half. Because right now, Asheville, they're just being given the ball basically every time the ball gets shot. It's just either weak shot right at the third man, or a shot that's not in a placement that they want. So that third man just has a free touch out to an outlet that's on the sidewalls. And they're going to be looking for that every single time. So NC State, they have to talk it through. They have to find those plays, and they have to shut it down if they want to win.
Absolutely, and that goes into what I was about to cover as well, which, you know, when you are able to set each other up and kind of have that positioning and rotation down the way that you want and want to establish it, it's not always going to look the same in every situation, obviously, but then you run into a situation where you have to make a decision. If you're Maple and Ventus, and you have that possession, we've seen them go bang bang for a great passing play within the box itself. But I'm really looking to try to free up some space for Rocket. He hasn't been able to operate the way that you want him to on the offensive side. So if it's not there, if that passing play is not there, look for a bump, look for a demo, free up that space for Rocket to go to work, and see if he can't carry you with a solo play here and there to really kick things off and spark something within your communication lines to then get the going again the way that you want it. But for NC State, lives are on the line here in the series, at least, as the Bulldogs have taken it to them with a 2-1 lead in the series heading into Game 4.
And to make sure that they hold on to this top 4 finish in the C3. But if you're Asheville, you got to think, well, just keep feeding the hot hand. Sunday Driver has been doing wonders for them so far on the offense. They might be looking to continue that path. As we see Aventus trying to go for a pass here, trying to use the teamwork to their advantage, but no one to be found. So it leaves the third man back in a situation. You see Rocket going back as quick as possible to help him out, try to give him some extra coverage. Sunday Driver again tries to get it up high, but ends up going low. Ventus goes for the shot, but it ends up going across the net and falls into the hands of Maple. The pressure now relies on the Wolfpack creating more than just keeping it on the half of the blue. Ventus shot goes on, but once again, it's too weak in a spot right at the last man. So Asheville just has a free touch. The pressure's still on, though, as Kuzo forced to bang it out line, and Asheville holding on just a little bit, but NC State looking a little bit more put together.
Yeah, exactly, and finding the bumps when they need to. This will put Ventus in an awkward spot, though, and a great shot from Grizzy. You come up just a little bit too soon, it seemed like, for the third man back. Ventus a little bit too far ahead of himself, and Asheville just smelled it, snuffed it out, able to get the first goal in the game.
Everything I said just got thrown out the window. They're not even using Sunday Driver anymore. They're probably using him as a distraction, so that way the other two, Kuzo and Grizzy, can find their ways into the play, because they have been doing a lot for this team. The defense has been amazing so far for them, but the offense has been a little lackluster, but they're finding their ways through right now. So we see once again Grizzy trying to play it over to the sidewall, as Kuzo is going to try to go up and over around Ventus, but can't find it, as a good 50 is going to come out. But NC State, they're just stacked too much. As you see the double commit come out there, they have to space out a little bit more. Their pressure is getting to them. They know that this could be their lane hopes and dreams, going from a top 4 to a bottom 4, something that they witnessed last semester, something they had to fight their way through, and their first round opponent wasn't any easier. They want to be the ones that are tough to find through, and that man we talk about, Rocket, sends a shot through, and what a read on the backboard.
Winthrop's in chat. They said Rocket lock in. How about that? Basically an alley-oop, like the equivalent of an alley-oop. Just toss it on the backboard and watch Rocket go up for it. Limited boost. That doesn't matter. He doesn't care. Whatever. 1-1 game, equalizer. Much needed one, it felt like, as well for NC State, as Rocket's right back to work. Trying to just shove it down and in. Now people try and hold on to this one too, but now it'll be Rocket to jump on it as well.
See Wolfpack, they're trying to take a little bit more time on that back line to take control as we see the demos come out. A double demo coming from Grizzy. The Tonka truck honking his way through and almost a shot going in, but the Woodwork saves the day once again. As UNC Asheville, the pressure is all to them. The Woodwork once again, just back-to-back shots off the post, can't find a way through. And Asheville, still all the pressure is in their control. Rocket trying to find a way out, gets demoed by Grizzy once again. Might end up with an extermination if he keeps up this track. But right now, another one, but this time it's Kuzo. Everything on the field has just been demo after demo. NC State, you can't make anything of a play if you can't even keep your four wheels on the ground.
Yeah, plus out of boost too. Ventus serves as a fake though, as Rocket will go right to work. NC State up 2-1. All serving off the fake here. Maple low boost. Ventus not enough in the tank. Would have been 15 anyways. A great decision to leave it for Rocket.
Now, Rocket heard me and said, I understand by the four wheels on the ground you mean by getting demoed, but let me show you what I can do in the air. And exactly what he does, going to town and making work of what he knows best. An easy goal for them, and that puts them back in the lead as, once again, Rocket already up high in the skies, going for another fakes down low, goes for the pinch. Maple not able to get the read, and what could have been another goal to give them a 2-goal lead ends up getting thrown off the post and outside. So Maple once again trying to get it middle, but Grizzy takes good control. He's a little bit awkward though, and NC State is getting into the heads of these Bulldogs. They look like they've been all bark, no bite so far this game. All the demos trying to get into the heads of the Wolfpack, but nothing has come of it except for the first goal they got at the beginning of the game. Kuzo gets another, and the post saves it. Just shot after shot. The post has been the MVP of the game so far for NC State, but maybe it wanted to finally go through, and Grizzy, after all the hard work he's done, gets a free goal.
Felt earns, extremely earns. In Maple, that's a very tough one to handle, so I understand. Got to be able to get through the corner, though. Otherwise, leaves it wide open for Asheville, and they will take advantage of it here, so they equalize 2-2 with 1:26 left. And now you're still extremely nervous as a Wolfpack fan here, because Asheville has been the better of the two teams in the last couple of games. And now, even though Wolfpack were able to finally find a lead, which has been rare in this series, believe it or not, you still see that time dwindling, and just one goal could really open things up completely and force their hands. NC State, it feels like it's a must-needed goal for the next one to go in.
Yeah, Asheville, you'll probably see them get aggressive again. As I say that, I'd be very surprised if Grizzy does not have an extermination by now. I haven't seen it pop up yet in the notifications, but he's probably close to it, but he needs to worry about the shot going on. Kuzo can't reach it, and that's just a free bang downfield into a wide open shot from the outlet. What a great play from NC State to advance a counterattack, and they take the lead right back.
Yeah, number one for Ventus for finding Maple and knowing that he was down the field. Number two for Maple hearing the communication lines to be able to jump into the right place. Asheville's had trouble scoring the easy ones in the series. For NC State, not as much. They've been able to hit those. It's a good sign for them because they have been struggling with that a little bit throughout the season. Trying to find Rocket there as well. Ventus, smart decision to stay back as third man, but it's still chopped at and played directly back in here by the Bulldogs. As they go back wall. This one will be up high. Sunday Driver looking for it, but Ventus already up the challenge in a hurry, closing that gap and forcing Kuzo right back to it from the sidewall. No boost in the tank from Rocket, but he'll still make a play. It's up to Ventus. And he'll direct it to corner, looking for the read, too. Gets the extra touch, bounces it high, kills more time off the clock. Now it's Sunday Driver's turn to try to piece something together for the last second for Asheville. Flicks it past one. Now Grizzy keeps it up, though. Opportunity, Ventus right there and back. Gets a great touch to play it down. But it felt like Asheville had an open lane there to equalize. But NC State holds on and will win game 4 to force game number 5.
Late. My two favorite words are about to appear, and those two words are champions and field. You just can't ask for a better situation as a viewer, as a caster, to see that field, knowing that it is come down to the final moment. It's come down all to this. You fought and battled through every single possible way trying to make sure that you stay in the series, and now it's come down to this one game to decide it all, possibly one goal or more, depending on how this series plays out. Is the defense going to hold strong for both teams? Is the offense going to out-pressure the defense and make them be thrown into awkward situations that they can't make the saves? We never know until it happens, but I am excited and ready for this.
It's getting good, man. It's getting hot at this point in time, dude. I'm excited for this one for sure. Because, you know, it could have been like NC State answers back and like, okay, they force a game 5 and it's a dominant fashion. Or it could have been, you know, UNC Asheville just finishing off the series here, but NC State pushes further into this one. And it's been super close game after game. NC State finally looks like they locked in to some degree, but Asheville they're going to need to earn it, man. And one way to do that is by getting the freebies. If they're able to do that, I have all the faith in the world that they can close out this series. They put their minds to it, lock in, hit the easy ones if NC State presents them at all. That's what they have to do to be able to win this. Otherwise, NC State, now that they've forced their hands, game 5 underway, Champions Field. Get up, get loud, chat. Let's see it, game 5.
Bulldogs, they're going to be looking to continue to stay strong. Even though they lost that last game, they're going to be looking to keep those demos up in the pressure. And you know that they're going to stay confident because they didn't even opt to use their timeout like NC State did after going down. So they're confident in each other about keeping that teamwork going and making those rotations just quickly in and out. As you see Kuzo already starting off with a demo there. Tries to throw it off the backboard. We see Ventus still up and leave it for Rocket. What could have been an amazing first goal gets turned away, and Kuzo throws a pass middle. It's a 1v1 situation. Tries to go quick to throw Ventus off guard. But unfortunately for him, he is ready for that one all the way through.
Yeah, now it's going to be Rocket to leave it for Ventus. Asheville actually whipped on that last opportunity. He'll go all the way cross rink to where Rocket was waiting for. His touch, though, will find Maple. That one's a floater. Grizzy awkward. Rocket taps it to the far side. It was a great idea, as that would have been the one place that it would have went through, but it was just a little bit wide.
So far, NC State has had all the pressure, and pressure makes diamonds as Maple gets one through the 50 from Ventus. Both Sunday Driver and Grizzy are just too clustered together, and the third man, Kuzo, just doesn't know what to do. Does he dive? Should he sit back? He tries to make one decision or another. Neither was right. A goal for Maple, and they start out the scoring.
Maple, that, again, a crafty touch, right time to be able to challenge into that too, knowing that the decision, basically getting into their heads, it felt like, to just get that easy touch up and over. And that's been the difference maker in the last couple games. NC State's been able to hit the easy ones. Asheville, not as much. And that's another prime example that sometimes if you keep it simple, you'll let the other team overthink. And you can be the beneficiary of that. And NC State was able to do that in that moment. But big demos come out. Maple needs to stand on his head defensively and does. But Kuzo right back to work. Did not get the foot reset though. And Sunday Driver right back to it. Maple, good challenge here at the midfield. Should be able to get the 100, but a bit of a mistouch again from Asheville. Kuzo able to make up for it, though, and punch it right back in.
Asheville finally starting to find their footing and try to get it downfield, but every single time it seems like they get downfield and they trip a little bit as NC State finds it through. Right off the corner, it's still floating on the goal line. Kuzo with the save. What a diving save to keep that one out, but NC State still has the pressure onto the blue half. Kuzo, no boost, trying to bang it out for Sunday Driver. He's getting met in the midfield by Maple. That one's going to float all the way up to Grizzy's hands, but it goes right back into the hands of Rocket, who's floating. He's got no boost. Can he get the flip reset? He cannot. Asheville still holding on. All the pressure has been NC State. It's a wide open net for Sunday Driver, something he's used to, but this time he can't find it before Ventus spawns and gets back. Back and forth we go like a ping pong match, but it doesn't matter. Another goal for Rocket, and that will be a 2-0 lead for NC State halfway through this game.
At first, it was NC State shooting themselves in the foot. What a shot by Rocket, by the way. Holy cow. Upside down, able to launch that one, and that was pretty nice. But it all goes back to Asheville. Another opportunity where they had an open net, essentially. All they had to do was just put something on target that had a little bit of velocity. Would have beat Ventus back easily. Weren't able to accomplish it, and NC State goes right back, and Rocket's not going to miss. Fantastic job from NC State. They might have another one too as Maple went up with the purpose. That one shut down, and now it's dire time. Red flags up for Asheville. They need to be able to find something quick.
The lights are getting a little bit too bright for them. We haven't seen them go for as many demos as they're used to. Grizzy has been more patient on the back line, as we see here. Maybe finally, as I say it, every single time I say something Bear Light, they just end up doing it. Maybe I need to keep my mouth shut for the other team, or I need to open it for the team that I'm speaking about, because I call for a demo, Kuzo gets it, and the man, the myth himself, Grizzy, is playing patient, gets a free net as third.
Nicely done. Needed that one big time. If they miss out on that opportunity, it's over. Plain and simple. But now there's plenty of time, obviously. Maple's challenge by Kuzo. Grizzy will get the pinch, but not much to it. Rocket from the sidewall, not who you want to see up in the air if you're Asheville. The good news is he's out of boost, but he throws him fake enough to throw off the defense. Oh no, Asheville. What a decision from Rocket. Out of boost, just falls back down. Oh, a mistake from Asheville, plain and simple.
Just the changeup getting thrown by Rocket, has Kuzo just no boost, in the backboard there as well had no boost. So both players just kind of wondering, should I go? Try to throw it up, and it doesn't matter. Speaking of backwards, Grizzy put on a show for us. Game 5, he's like, we want to stay in this, and I'm going to do what I can. Another one to send through. Finch is not able to get the read, and what a double from Grizzy.
Filthy. Nate, if you're in chat, clip it. I know you've been looking for those clips, boy. Well, Grizzy went to work on that one for sure. Now a 3-2 game again. Asheville back within 1. When it might have should have been over. You know, if you're NC State, you're like, man, we basically had this in the bag. And of course, they were the ones that had to force the game 5 in the first place. But they've been looking like they've been able to close out. But Asheville has found a way. And Kuzo, big, strong play in 50-50. Ventus needs a chop, and it does. Grizzy's going to put it on target as well. But Ventus and Rocket get it out to Maple, and they get it out to midfield. Sunday driver back to it. Rocket needs to get up. What a save! What a save from Rocket to keep their lead here.
The freshman who has been doing it all is still making the most insane plays of not his career, but his life. Another one to make sure that Asheville cannot get back in this game. And they are holding on ever so slightly as the pressure still remains in control of Asheville. The Bulldogs are fighting every tooth and nail they can to try to find one through. But maybe another redirect from Rocket is just too far off. Grizzy plays it off the sidewall. Kuzo gets the bang downfield. Ventus is in an awkward position. He gets the flip, but can he get the touch? He does indeed. The 50 goes the way of NC State. Third man a little bit too awkward. He's going to be challenged by Maple, but unfortunately for him, it's missed. Double commit comes out. It's an open net. It's a 3v1, but no one's challenging the ball. Only 15 seconds remain. Sunday driver plays the outlet for Kuzo. Kuzo waiting in the midfield, doesn't get the touch he wants. Grizzy, no boost. Ventus goes for the challenge, and with 5 seconds remaining, it's all or nothing. Rocket left his last man. Sunday driver tried to play the pinch, he whiffs. Grizzy, free ball, he pops it up by Kuzo. Last second, Rocket just trying to down the ball, they trying to get it out. Asheville doing their best to keep it up, is hanging on the sidewall. And finally, NC State, after all the pressure they've been through, after all the shots that have gone on target, Asheville had looked like they were in control, but NC State, that man right there, Rocket still in the lobby, 2 goals on 7 shots. He did wonders for the team, and the team itself, the Wolfpack, hold on strong for Game 5.
I mean this guy, and I'm going to wait until it gets back to me on the camera. I really think that Rocket might be the best player in C3. I'm not joking.
I can agree.
He's insane, bro. Just a freshman making plays like that. And it's not just that like he's got the mechanics, which he does. It's not that he has game sense. He does. Like, check that box. Then it's, can he perform in a pressure situation like a Game 5? You know, it's literally how in the world do you make that save type of situation, makes that save. That's all I got. I mean, he's insane. Yeah, bro. He's literally so insane, bro.
I mean, it's all you can really say, because you got to think about the types of players that are in this league. I mean, we're talking about Og, who has been rank 8. Anyone that knows the whole entire seating is 6-man. Same thing with Bala. Bala's been rank 8 before, too. Like, these are strong players that know how to show up. But when it comes to individual skill, like, and looking at, like, how are they able to mesh with their team? How are they able to propel as a leader? And we've talked about this entire series, is that he is a leader compared to players like Og, who might be good mechanically, might be good solo. But when it comes to putting you in a team setting, are you going to be able to boost your teammates? Are you going to be able to help uplift them to not only make yourself look like a star, but make them look like stars as well? And Rocket does exactly that with every single decision he makes, every touch he makes. Everything he does is just because he's been that kind of player for NC State that has helped propel them to where they are now.
Well, everything he touches turns to gold, and I guess he'll turn the broadcast into gold too because we have an interview with the Rocket coming up. So you obviously want to stick around for that one. I don't even have to tell you to stick around. Obviously, you want to hear from the man himself. So we'll take that quick break to set it up and be right back here on C3.
Listen until they feel the force of hard in. If you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now.
Welcome back to C3. We've got the legend here. I mean, heck of a series. Probably one of the best we've seen solo performance-wise from a player in C3. Rocket, holy cow, what a series. I'm just going to leave it at that and open up with the question of just leaving. What a series it was. How do you feel about it, bro?
Feel a little bit shaky. It's not what we expected to happen, but I think it's really useful learning from moments where things don't go the way you plan, because that teaches you adaptability and just some teamwork skills, communication. So I think it's a learning opportunity, which is really good. But I had fun. I was vibing the whole time.
That's wonderful. Always the best whenever you're able to still look positively in series like that, even when they're so close, and be able to keep those vibes up, especially between the team. And speaking of the team, what were y'all talking about going into that timeout? We saw after y'all went down 1-2, y'all called the timeout, which, by the way, a lot of teams kind of forget that they have that. So we always kind of give that shout out, kudos to y'all for actually remembering you have it. But what were y'all kind of talking about to get yourselves locked back in for games 4 and 5?
Yeah, so we had Colson in our ear, and after we got like scored on the third time, he said, "Call a timeout, boys." And I was like, "Yeah, that would probably be helpful. Just a reset, taking a step back, stand up, stretch, do some jumping jacks, and then just like the mental reset to come back in and play your best, and it appeared to work. So yeah, tactical timeout. I don't know what the stat is, but I've heard teams predominantly win right after they call a timeout. So I think it swung the series back in our favor.
Agreed. I mean, that momentum from a timeout in any situation can definitely switch how you look at a series, and being able to have that time to talk about what you know is going on and being able to fix it, even if it's just for an extra minute, definitely can help out to flip the script, so to say. But y'all did a really good job of that. And speaking of flipping the script, at game 5, y'all were up 3-2, a little bit around 30 seconds remaining, and you are on low boost, having to make a diving save backwards over because Sunday Driver's about to put it top corner of your net. How are you feeling in that situation? And I mean, incredible save, just to say, from that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Low key a blur, but go me in the past. I don't know. I don't really remember like key moments from a game after the game. I guess I'm too locked in, or just like everything's moving so quickly. But I'm glad I did it. I don't know. I was probably too focused on trying to win and close the series out.
Yeah, you locked in after game 1. We're not going to talk about that, though, all right? Definitely started to amp it up, and now we're going into LAN. So it didn't quite go your way last LAN, right, back in the fall, at your home field advantage, if you will, for NC State, whatever. But let's talk about this LAN coming in. What are some of the things that you're looking to maybe improve on as a squad and personally in order to find more success this time around?
Yeah, I think our last LAN, it wasn't exactly what we wanted, but I mean, we took it to Charlotte, like in our last series, and that gave us a lot of hope for what the next one would look like, and we've done really well this season. So I'm just looking for our teamwork and our energy we always bring, and just playing our best. I don't want to expect results. I just want to be there to have fun, be there for my team, and just yeah, just having fun seeing people.
Fantastic. Well, you know the drill because you've been here plenty of times. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
I got to shout out God, Jesus. I give it my mom, like, and my grandma. Maybe my dad. I don't know. He's pretty cool too. Always shout out my teammates. They stuck with me the whole game. Colson too, and Casters and Prod.
Appreciate that, man. Absolutely. Shout
And my
out to your
duo
dad.
Phantom.
Got it. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely, dude. Nice. I got to give a shout out to your dad, by the way. We had a great conversation at CEC, so I'm giving him a shout regardless. So, anyways, Rocket, thank you. Congratulations again. We'll see you at LAN, buddy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. A great night it was. Again, Skyline and Bearlight here with you the whole time, and very excited season comes to an end here at this point in time. So, Skyline, your final thoughts here as we wrap a great C3 season here in the spring.
I mean, first off, just congrats to the teams that made it to the top 8. I mean, it was a hard-fought season nonetheless. So really well done. And again, for NC State being able to pull through. I know my UNC Greensboro boys put on a show compared to what happened last semester. So congrats to all the teams that made it and to the teams that didn't. Still well done throughout this entire season, keeping games close, being able to pick up those wins.